This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
I don't have any more chocolates. I'm sad. I'm all out of chocolates. I was looking down at the empty box of chocolates like I wish I had more chocolates. And the sad part about the chocolate thing is, I had, do you want purple bandana? We can do purple bandana. I think the purple bandana's right behind the computer screen. If you want a purple bandana, this should be, it's like a color change. It's like this side is blue and this side is gray, and it's like a gradient between the two. We can switch to purple if you would like. I'll just throw it out there. And before we even got the boxes of chocolates, I had bought both of us a Reese's egg and a Cadbury egg. And I was like, some people, I'm amazed, don't like Cadbury eggs. So I was like, if you don't like the Cadbury egg, just let me know and you can have 2 Reese's eggs. She's like, no, I love both. Yes. I'd eat my Cadbury egg before we ever even gotten out of the car. I think I had my Reese's egg just as soon as we like fucking walked in the house. I love Cadbury. They apparently lost whatever. Already? Well, fucking A. Caller, you're on the Troll Patrol. What's going on? Yo!
Yo, am I on the fucking freaking phone?
You were on the freaking phone. You might want to turn the stream off. There's a delay.
Yeah, I got you. I've been a fan. I donated to your Patreon and then lost my job, so I stopped. But I really appreciate what you're doing. I know you don't have a huge following, but you rock ass. And I'm happy to support. I just wanted to say...
Bro, I love you. What the hell?
Yeah, bro, I bought one of your shirts a long time ago, too. I really, part of the thing I hate about the left, of which I'm on, is that we see Steven Crowder and we see Joe Rogan and we see all these piece of shit hacks that really don't have any talent, but they just create a bunch of content. And so many people think, oh, I'm going to make content. Oh, I'm going to make an effort. But you actually did something. You kept it up for months. So that means something. I think that's, when we're all marching to hell in like 2 years, you'll at least know that you made an effort. But I wanted to say on that note, I just want to voice the opinion that, like, Nancy Pelosi has to go just as much as Donald Trump has to go.
Agreed.
Steve Miller has to go. And Kamala's probably in on it. I've noticed that she's been devastatingly silent. And I remember, when there was the Nazi rally or the fascist rally at MSG that Trump had, and she was just using puppy dog language and really had the fucking kids' gloves on, projecting, this guy's mean to me on the building when she should have called him a fascist. That's when I knew the election was over.
The first month of the campaign was a pretty good tone to set when they were mocking the Republicans and calling them weird and shit. But then I don't know, like the donors got to her or something and things just changed.
I think she was the donors the whole time. I think the entire Democratic Party, I wonder if there's not some like super plutocrats or super oligarchs that are really just playing both sides and are the ones... because the way that the Democrats have fallen in line, if it wasn't rehearsed, then it's a thing of beauty. You have Hakeem Jeffries going on fucking national television saying...
Jeffries got to go. Schumer needs to go. We need to clean fucking house in the Democratic Party. It needs to be completely remade if it's going to survive. But I will, in terms of Harris, I will give her the benefit of a doubt that, like... If she was to come out and be like all over the place right now giving interviews, people would be like, oh, she needs to shut the fuck up. She just lost.
But that's like...
So it's a catch-squeeze. Right? You can't win either way.
But I'm a social worker, right? And that's what I do. And occasionally I have to help people that really... Hey, man, I feel the same way about you as I've reviewed.
You're doing the real work. I just run my fucking mouth.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? You know, all I do is talk and give out things to. No, it's not. I love my job, but in any case, it's like sometimes I get people that have Trump signs and they're asking for state services in Massachusetts, which is just like a bonkers situation, and they just like yell at me. You know, I've had people. You know, one time someone found out that my last name was Rivas, and even though they were asking for services from me, who was born in this country. You know, it's very hard to. I'm white passing. They still ask me if I was illegal.
Really?
And it's like, you know what you know what I do as a social worker?
What do you do?
I say, hey man, I'm sorry that you feel like this is like a time to have a hostile interaction. I'm here to help you, and I understand if you don't want my help, and you're welcome to ask me to leave. But while we're here, I think we should address this problem. And I take it in stride because that's what an adult does.
And 9 times out of 10, that works, doesn't it?
Yeah, dude. First of all, another thing people need to realize, you know, while we're still on this Democrat-Republican bullshit, is that a lot of the Republicans are disenfranchised Democrats. They're Democrats that have poor reading comprehension, that are easily swayed, that got moved slowly through a pipeline that's been deliberate and like existing for at least the past 10 years. And they wound up Trump. They don't know anything about politics.
Absolutely.
They don't know a lot of these people. Yeah, they don't know they don't know what the Department of Education does.
No, I know, brother.
You know,
I know.
They have no idea. Yeah, so it's like once we realize, like, if we were able to, you know, we being conscious people, just speak to everyone and say, listen, billionaire or not billionaire, which team are you on? The whole thing would be different. But we have Kamala Harris or we have a Democratic Party who themselves won't admit that capitalism is not the way.
Well, I think that's on purpose. Like they're serving their donors.
Yeah, which is why we need to eat them.
Yeah.
In a video game. We need to make a video game. We need to get a good graphics card. And we got to do kind of a French Revolution kind of mod. You know, we got to mod modern day Washington, D.C. to look like Versailles or Paris or something in the 1700s.
We'll don't disagree with you.
Yeah. I'm going to hop off, but again, I want to say that, like, regardless of what the viewership is, people do watch, and you give hope to people that are just like themselves trying to find a way to resist.
I just make jokes. Just make jokes.
I see it differently, man. When I bought your T-shirt, I was like, this guy's just another guy just putting things out that is like, you know, fun to watch, easy to listen to, but gives you the right message and does it in a way that's not intimidating. You know, I've never, obviously, you're not someone that's trying to highbrow someone and out-intellectualize them like the news does. So, like, we absolutely need people like you to stay on board, keep making content, keep answering phone calls, and just, like, if we all do it together, we'll still probably lose, but we'll lose with dignity.
I think we can win. This can be an opportunity.
Dude, hell yeah. Fucking keep that energy. I'll be right behind you, or to the side of you, or in front of you.
You're on the front lines.
I'll be there right along with you.
You're on the front lines. You're doing God's work.
Dude, I'm in Massachusetts, man. You ever seen that movie, Civil War?
The Avengers movie?
No, the A24 one. Dude, it's got Kirsten Dunst. She's great.
That's not the one with Robert Englund, is it?
I don't know who Robert Englund is. I don't trust the British.
No, not British. He's Freddy.
All cats are beautiful, man. Even this Robert. But anyway, it's Massachusetts right now functions in this way where we're aware that the people don't think like that. I'm not going to dox myself, but I live in a city in Massachusetts that voted 98% blue.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, the state is pretty fucking blue.
Yeah, so it's like if I was younger, because I'm no longer young enough to really be doing Black Bloc Antifa stuff, as I may or may not have been in my youth.
Yeah.
It's like Massachusetts, man, everyone here is... Luckily, we don't have to because, you know, we're really not on that kind of time to where the state is trying to crack down on people. But if I had courage, bro, I'd be in Texas. If I had courage, I'd be in Arizona. I think if most activists had courage, we would be in Ohio. We'd be in Texas.
See, now you're making me feel bad. I moved from a red state to a blue state.
Yeah, but dude, what you're trying to do is way bigger. You're trying to make evergreen content that some fucking kid is going to come up at 4 a.m. on YouTube when he's deep into YouTube. Someone that could be going through a hard time because he's at YouTube videos that have like 100 views. and he's going to see your content, you'll probably, I mean, you will never know what impact you have because your content just exists, but you know because it's good content and you're trying to preach morality and have been for many months, you know you're steering that kid in the right direction. So it's like you may not be on the front lines physically, but you're playing the media game, brother.
Flattery gets
And
you
we need
everywhere.
that.
What are you doing on Friday?
I'm hanging out with my dog, dude. What do you mean?
Oh, you got a puppy
when are you
too?
streaming?
Damn, it just keeps getting better.
Yeah, when do you? I'll let me hop back on your Patreon. I can throw you some bread.
Oh no,
I got
you don't
my
have to
job
worry.
back.
I do not do this for the money at all. I have a job to support myself. So
Oh yeah,
I
see
know
what
that,
mean,
and
man?
that's one of the reasons why I don't grow as a content creator. I'm like, no, please don't support me.
Well, I'll start watching the streams again. You just popped up on my YouTube feed because I used to watch your content all the time. You and RM Brown, man. I had a phase where it was just you and RM Brown all day.
RM Brown was on with Emma on the Majority Report today. I was watching it while I was eating dinner.
Dude, this is probably not a conversation for public, but if she wasn't married, I have such a crush on Emma Vigeland, but she's married and like she deserves better from our community than to have guys like perving on her.
Oh
But goddamn,
yeah.
she's so well spoken, bro. You can tell that she like, you know, is like a courageous person.
I did
Which I
not
think is
like Emma at first, and this is the same way with Michael. I didn't like Emma at first. I thought she was too dry but like she's really grown on me. She's got this wit about her that really cracks me up.
Yeah, and she's the first like not the first, but she's our greatest defense against Tim Pool. Because Tim Pool clearly loves Emma Vigeland. Like, clearly. It's very obvious if you follow Tim Pool as weirdly as I do. Anytime he mentions the Majority Report, who he's also clearly afraid of, he really has something to say about Emma, which is weird because it's not her show. It's Sam's show, technically.
For now.
She's
taking it over.
Again, man, like, we need people to just keep making content. Like, it can't just be Hassan Piker.
Well, she's doing valuable work because she's in that sports space, and she can pull some chuds over. And that's one of the reasons why, like, I really wanted to get to where I could stream my PS5 and start streaming some of the newer games that come out to try to get in on that gaming space.
Yeah, why not?
Because my fucking capture card won't work with my PS5.
There you go. But dude, that's where when I'm doing my little plannings and whatever I do with my spare time, it's all about invading the media space. Not invading, but we have studies. Like, you can watch it. There's YouTube videos about it. There's essays about it. It's known. There's a pipeline. And the only way to fight a pipeline, if you can't remove it, you have to create alternative pipelines that can feed something more positive. So, dude, I encourage you, man. You got a really funny way about you. If any space that you're into, you will attract a certain kind of person because I'm that kind of person. So, like, I encourage you, dude, go everywhere. Go to a fucking rock climbing gym. Put on a bandana.
Brother, I was just
and have fun.
I was just having a conversation with my friend today. I said, if Trump gives us that $5,000, which that's not going to happen, we'll go into that a little bit later. But like it's been proposed. Trump and Elon give us $5,000. I'll absolutely spend 1,000, 1,500 of it on advertising because I think that there are people out there that will watch the show. They just don't know I exist, and I need to find those spaces.
Yeah, no, dude, there definitely are. I don't even think media, no disrespect to you or anyone, but I don't even think it takes much talent. Like, Michael Knowles is a piece of shit. He's not very smart. He's not charismatic, and he looks like someone that would tell on people.
Brother,
like, that's what he looks like.
One of the reasons why I did not do this through 2012, 2013, 2014, we go ahead and hop on, was I did not feel like I was smart enough, well-versed enough in broadcasting that I was prepared to actually do this job. But after seeing Ben Shapiro, Dave Rubin, Tim Pool, I'm like, well, fuck, I can do that way better than them.
If Dave Rubin can figure it out, anyone can figure it out.
I'm already leaps and bounds better than they are, so there's no reason for me.
Yeah, because you actually get laughs. People watch your stream, and then you actually get laughs.
The chat's funnier than I am.
That hooks, brother.
And it's the content.
Well, there you go, brother. I'm gonna get back, but you know, when I work with kids, right? One of the things I try to impress on them is that, like, a million great startups are founded every day in people's mind, and maybe one or two someone will put the pen on paper. You know, life is so much about just like giving what you're passionate about an attempt and waiting for someone else to tell you failed, as opposed to deciding that you failed yourself. If one can master the art of trying, life is, like, you know.
And that's why I'm a leftist, because I want to give everybody the opportunity to try. If you provide everyone with education, health care, and a minimum standard of living, and like your Monopoly money, your $200 when you pass go, if you provide everybody with that, then like good things will automatically happen. People will start businesses, and they will be entrepreneurs and come up with gadgets and shit that we can enjoy. But unfortunately, we live in a capitalist society that's consolidated everything into several conglomerates.
Well, as a last parting thought, communism might accidentally be on the way. I could see a dystopian future where we end up like having to do some amount of work as a cost of citizenship, and then we're given tokens for that work. Do you remember how they used to have railroad companies that had whole estates?
Yes.
I don't see why Elon Musk would not want a city to operate like that.
He's already proposed it.
Yeah. So like we might actually get communism, but like not chill communism.
I know we're gonna go back to like company towns and shit. It's gonna be like it's not even gonna be communal.
Yeah. Well, the showers will be, because we won't have them for ourselves, but everything else.
Hey, I'm all right with that, because like I'm kind of into the group stuff.
Yeah, dude. There you go. Hell yeah, buddy. All right, man. I fuck with you. I'm gonna keep fucking with you. Keep doing what you're doing. People are watching, even if you don't know. And I'm part of the Troll Patrol. Troll Patrol, baby. Let's go.
Thank you so much, my friend. Have a great night.
You too, brother. Thank you.
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck.
Stupid? You think we're fools?
I didn't reset my drops. Gonna make me cry. Dewey, you got something you want to say? You want to call in? Here's your meme of the day. That is a real tweet from the White House. That is a White House retweet of a Donald Trump Truth Social post. Congestion pricing is dead. Manhattan and all of New York is saved. Long live the king. Fuck the king. You guys didn't ask him to do anything. Like, you voted for idiot ass Trump. Cuck. You need a strong man to tell you what to do. You guys don't have any principles. Bagheera, good evening. Julie, Soup, Dewey, Carlarlar. Donald Trump seems stupid to smart people because he's so much smarter than smart people that they don't understand him. Well, that's a take. Donald Trump seems stupid to smart people because he's so much smarter than smart people. I love that. Holiday, my friend, good evening. Dewey said, did the election of Trump not teach you something? The way you people think is wrong, the average American can see through you people. I don't know what that means, see through me. I don't particularly find you people genuine. The election of Trump did teach me something. I can show you the data that shows that people that believe that crime was up and not down, people that believe that immigration had not returned to 2019 levels, people that thought the stock market had crashed were more likely to vote for Trump. Fuzzy Simba, Red Wine Terrorist, good evening, my friends. Welcome in. Ducky, DJ Dub. Soup, did I tell you good evening? Did somebody shout out Soup? Somebody probably did. I'm just going back through the chat. Energy Flow. PP Girl, Princess Kimberly. Lenny, my friend. So glad to see everyone tonight. If I missed you, my apologies. We were having a conversation. It was a pretty good conversation too. But we got news. News be doing stupid shit. Let's go ahead and just get to it. No need for me to run it down. It's stupid shit. Stupid shit be happening. I will say I've got some awesome crime stories coming up in the crime section of this show. I know awesome's not the right word. Interesting. Definitely engaging videos. Former Brazilian president Jair Bolsonaro charged over his alleged coup attempt.
Brazil's former president Jair Bolsonaro was
I'll smoke to that.
Tuesday for attempting to stage a coup, part of a plan that allegedly involved poisoning current President Lula and killing a Supreme Court judge. Along with Bolsonaro, 33 others, including former ministers and top army generals, were also charged by the Prosecutor General. So what's next? The Supreme Court will review the charges and, if they move forward, Bolsonaro and the others will stand trial. If Bolsonaro is convicted, he could face up to at least 20 years in prison. Bolsonaro has always denied any wrongdoing. His defense team said they were shocked and outraged by the accusations and have insisted that he never supported any attempt to undermine democracy.
Bullshit. See, that's what you do if you don't want a king. You have to charge these people, and I'm a firm believer that our country is in the shape it's in because Nixon didn't get charged, because Reagan didn't get charged in Iran-Contra, because Bush didn't get charged and Cheney. Because we just let these motherfuckers get away with anything. They think they're kings. Obama should have been charged for killing an American citizen. I'll absolutely agree to that. Illegally killing an American citizen extrajudicially. He broke the Constitution. But I don't think that's what you're talking about. I've got my gripes with Obama. But his crimes pale in comparison to other presidents. That's why I didn't mention him. Congestion pricing is dead. Manhattan and all of New York is saved. Long live the king. I certainly didn't, Big Hero. Why the fuck are you not upset at this asshole calling himself a king? You want to talk about Obama? Obama hasn't been in office in goddamn what, a decade and a half now? Oh, about a decade. I'm bad at math.
You take your 33 and a third chance, minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 and a third chance of winning.
Gaddy Holchel gave a press conference earlier responding to Trump. Clinically, good evening.
Next time you're stuck in traffic. Okay, we know where the blame goes. Okay, we have my top 10 reasons why congestion pricing is working. But as someone who's worked so hard, I want to let Jana Lieber tell you why we believe this program is working and why it's essential. Then we haven't taken any questions, and my counsel could explain our legal strategy as well. Thank you very much.
I can't believe they're clapping for her. That was pretty weak sauce. She had a meeting last night as to what to do about Mayor Eric Adams. She has the ability to remove him for office for his quid pro quo that has caused multiple people in the Justice Department to resign in protest.
Breaking news involving New York Mayor Adams.
4 of the mayor's top deputies resigning today, possibly putting in peril his ability to lead.
And late
4 of the mayor's deputies resigning over
to
it.
convene a meeting tomorrow to discuss what she calls a path forward.
Will there be one? Eyewitness News reporter Sonia Rincon live at City Hall with the breaking details. Sonia.
Bill and Sade, that path forward is so uncertain, but Governor Hochul...
I thought the meeting had already happened. They're just speculating on a meeting. The hearing did happen. That happened just a few hours ago. Mayor Eric Adams was in court. Apparently nothing is going to come of it. It is going to be postponed until a later date, kicking the can down the road.
To discuss a motion to dismiss the corruption charges against New York City Mayor Eric Adams ended without a ruling. The mayor attended this hearing. It took place in Lower Manhattan amid calls that are growing here in the city and in some quarters of New York statewide that Mayor Adams be removed from office. Scott McFarland joins me now. Rare for both of us to be playing New York City, but in fact we are. I'm here. Scott, you're here. And you're here because of this clash.
Scott, you're here. I'm here.
It has national ramifications.
I'm here. Major's there. Scott's there.
Corruption charges against New York Mayor Eric Adams dropped. Now a hearing today to evaluate that order from the Justice Department. What happened?
What happened today over 90 minutes, the judge acknowledged is unprecedented. Critics of the Trump administration would call it preposterous. The Trump administration, through the acting deputy attorney general, used to be Trump's defense lawyer, Emil Beauvais, today asked the judge to drop this profoundly important and high-profile criminal case against the mayor of New York. This corruption case in which the mayor was accused and pleaded not guilty to trading official actions as mayor for gifts, for travel perks. What they argued today in court was
the NYPD is a gang.
With each other, that this case is distracting the mayor from doing the job of mayor, that his national security clearance has been stripped of him, so he's not getting good intelligence information to keep the city safe. And the Trump appointed...
I went up, tip one back.
...general is arguing that this is a weaponization of government. Now, there's a phrase right out of the 2024 campaign, that the Department of Justice launched this case during the Biden administration. The Trump team alleges to weaponize the government to take out a political rival. The judge heard all this and recognized. I got 2 different people at the defense table arguing the same thing. There's nobody in this room representing the alleged victims of the crime, the taxpayers of the United States and New York. So he wants some time to look through this, to consider this unprecedented request, and what's more major, he may consider bringing in some independent special counsel to argue on behalf of the people.
What are this judge's range of options?
I think something like that happened with Flynn.
Began the hearing. The judge named Dale Ho, a 2023 appointee of President Biden. Judge Ho said that there's limited bandwidth here because when both parties want to dismiss a case, usually that's quick and easy for the court. We dismiss the case. This is so different. Usually when they ask to dismiss a case at the Department of Justice, it's because some of the facts have changed or become more clear. A point of law has been raised. This is quite different. This, according to critics, is a political motivation for the dismissal of the case. That's destabilizing for the whole system if we start dropping cases because of politics. The Department of Justice is famously independent of the White House, independent of politics. That would shatter if this were dropped for political reasons. I should underscore, though, Emil Beauvais, the acting deputy attorney.
It's been leaning that way for at least 30 years.
In court today, denied the accusation. This is political.
And I saw on social media today some reference from someone supporting the Trump Justice Department saying the underlying allegations against Mayor Adams talk about acts taken before he was mayor and therefore should not fall prosecutorially under acts while he was mayor. Did that come up?
No, and I tell you, the judge was starving for that type of argument. Do you have any
starving?
Diminishes the accusations themselves. Is there something new, something revelatory about what's alleged in this charging document, that's typically why I dismiss a case. Much different. What the Department of Justice argued today is that the government was weaponized, the case should be dropped for that reason, and that the mayor is less able to not only serve as mayor, but run as a candidate in the June primaries. How symmetrical is this, Major? The prosecutor, who was once Trump's defense attorney, says a candidate for high office being prosecuted is election interference. The symmetry was striking today.
We've heard that before. Scott McFarland, thank you very much.
What the fuck is he lying about? It's so weird. You guys just like, oh, he's lying. But like no evidence ever. You know who did lie though? Got called out on it? Elon Musk. Doja's $8 billion mistake called out. Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency claimed a savings of $8 billion on a terminated contract this week, but it was actually worth just $8 million. The error represented about 15% of the total $55 billion in savings Doge has claimed it made to date. The $55 billion claim was also apparently bogus. A set of receipts posted on its new website totaled just a quarter of the $55 billion, including the erroneous $8 billion. These inconsistencies, in addition to the slew of contracts listed as having a savings of $0, have called Doge's accounting into question as Musk keeps claiming he has saved Americans tens of billions more than what his own department even touts. Doge's $8 billion gaffe was first spotted by the New York Times, which theorized the mistake may have came about because past versions of the since-canceled contract of the Federal Procurement Data System had incorrectly stated it was for $8 billion. The contract was earmarked for the Immigration and Customs Enforcement and was to be doled out across approximately 6 years. Despite the initial typo, it was clear the contract was being paid out to total only $8 million, evidenced by the first 2.5 years costing the federal government just $2.5 million. At $8 billion, the contract for ICE's Office of Diversity and Civil Rights would have been about the same as the entire annual budget of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, hammering home that this was an obvious miscalculation to anyone familiar with federal spending. The contract, at its vastly inflated amount, was the largest savings Doge claimed credit for on a contract on its site. And I saw many people, this article doesn't get into it, I saw many people claim that this was deliberate, that they had archived versions of the website, and it showed that it was $8 million, that it was changed to $8 billion. But I mean, Elon could make such a mistake. Trump actually searched for someone way smarter than Elon. He didn't want Elon.
You know, I wanted to find somebody smarter than him. I searched all over. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't.
You really tried hard.
I couldn't find anyone smarter, right? So we had it for the country.
But this is the thing.
We settled on this.
Well, thanks for having me. So I'm just trying to be useful.
But this is the interesting. This is where we are as a society.
Thanks for having me. They settled for him. What a weird interview. The two of them appeared on Hannity, where all kinds of crazy claims were made, like the fact that Trump admitted inflation was back, but hey, it ain't his fault.
Jan 20th, a $2 trillion deficit. It's insane.
I didn't think it would last this long, Jacob.
Yeah, we inherited.
Yeah.
And inflation is back. I'm only here for 2.5 weeks.
That was January.
Inflation is back.
Oh, God, that's
Inflation's back. And they said, oh, Trump inflation. I had nothing to do with it. These people have run the country. They spent money like nobody's ever spent. They were given $9 trillion to throw out the window. $9 trillion. And they spent it on the Green New scam, I call it. It's the greatest scam in the history of the country.
On Jan 20th, a $2 trillion deficit. It's insane.
Dewey, we love auditors. Fucking Trump and Musk fired all the auditors. You can't see that they're robbing you blind, you dipshit. You want to argue? You can call in. Chat, this is a great question. Who do you think is a worse father? Donald Trump or Elon Musk? Let's go. I'm telling you who is not a fan of Elon. This is one Mr. Bernie Sanders.
When it comes to questions about who is the administrator of Doge, actually, do you believe that's an important question to have the answer to?
No, the issue is not who is technically the administrator, who has the title. Elon Musk is clearly running the show, the wealthiest person in the world, who has enormous conflicts of interests, who is helping to fund right-wing extremist organizations all over the world, who is looking forward to get massive tax breaks from Congress. He's running the show.
So if he's running the show, but not on paper, as they essentially argue, but you say in practice, he basically is.
T-Minus, welcome in.
Branch of government.
Quesadilla.
Are we? I kind of thought so, but I think you have to explain that to the president.
Do you feel that you have oversight when it comes to what Elon Musk is doing?
Look, what we're seeing right now, Caitlin, is a very dangerous moment. I'm laughing here, but it is not funny.
Shelley.
This country is moving very rapidly under Trump into an authoritarian form of society. You know, the founding fathers, way back in the 1770s.
Trump is the better. Elon is the better father because his kids never see him.
An autocrat, had all the power.
Ooh, there's a vote in the chat.
We want that in the new country. We're going to set up 3 separate equal branches of government. And every kid in the 6th grade knows who they are. But Trump does not. And what Trump is doing now is trying every day to usurp the powers of Congress, to challenge the powers of the court. It is a very dangerous moment.
Well, the question, though, when it comes to what this looks like is we haven't seen a ton of resistance from Capitol Hill, and we have seen some efforts in the courts. These Democratic attorneys general stepped in. But today, a federal judge here, Tanya Chutkan, she's well known to our audience from the Trump trials, she declined to block Musk and his team from getting access because she basically said she wasn't getting specific enough examples from these AGs about how Musk could cause irreparable harm to their state. And if they can't prove that in court, what does that say?
Well, I tell you what I happen to believe. At the end of the day, the struggle against Trump, the struggle against oligarchy, which is led by Elon Musk, the struggle against authoritarianism, the fight to make sure that the working class of this country gets a fair shake, that is not going to be won here in Capitol Hill.
I bet Trump's a pretty good grandfather.
All over this country, standing up and saying, you know what? We fought and died for democracy. We're not going to move toward authoritarianism. We fought to create a country that works for all, not just the billionaire class. That's the struggle, and I'm going to be active in trying to rally the American people to do just that.
Well, and you're embarking on this tour to combat this. It's a national tour. You're starting in Nebraska and Iowa. How do you break through to people, though? There are some people, Trump voters, who are even independent voters, who like what Elon Musk is doing and say, yeah, the federal government does spend too much money and it is too bloated.
And the truth is, the federal government is a bureaucracy. We have to acknowledge that. Federal government perfect, far from it. Do we need to bring about reforms? Absolutely. But let us be clear what these guys really want to do. Do you think that Elon Musk is staying up night just worrying about excessive spending in the CDC? I don't think so.
Nope.
At the end of the day, what these guys want and what Trump wants is to cut programs that working class people need. They're talking, the House Budget Committee released their report.
Carla, thank you for the resub.
$180 billion in cuts to
Welcome
Medicaid.
in, darling.
You know what that means? It's not only that millions of people, kids, are going to be thrown off the health insurance they have.
Said no one ever, LOL.
40%
Thank you for being a freaking follower.
Coming into community health centers. 30 million people get their health care, community health centers. That's coming from Medicaid. You cut Medicaid, you're going to dismember an already broken health care system. What are they going to do with that money? They're going to give it to tax breaks.
No, you see, like, you know how there's people that are like really shitty parents, really like harsh dads, emotionally abusive and everything. But then like there'll be grandparents and they'll be all you don't see them a lot, and I bet that's the case with Trump. and they're all jolly and they'll give you shit when you see them. I bet Trump's like that. He'll like slip him a 20 or something every time he sees them, or take him to McDonald's and shit like that. I bet he was a decent grandfather. Just easy, because he's personable and charismatic and everything. He is a narcissist, though. But, like, I doubt they see him a lot, too. I bet Bernie's a really good grandfather.
In America, over $1 trillion goes in tax breaks to the top 1%. That is what these guys want. They want more wealth. They want more power. American people are going to have to stop them.
Well, and what you're referencing, this is like the blueprint, essentially, that we got from House Republicans. It's not clear what realistically they're going to do.
What a time to be alive, indeed.
To have 4.5 trillion in tax cuts. Right. And basically,
all you can do is sit back and give people a titty slap.
A titty slap!
Come on now.
This plan instructed the energy
keep bitching at him, Bernie.
Overseas Medicaid to find those $880 billion in cuts. Realistically, what should voters be worried about if you hear from some moderate Republicans who say we're not going to touch Medicaid, that's not going to be on the table?
Well, no one is saying that. I mean,
thanks, Obama.
We are trying to do
won the poll.
Evenly divided. If 2 Republicans, 2 out of 435 members,
I love you guys.
We're not going to vote to give tax breaks.
I need to pack another bowl.
Cut programs that children and the elderly and the hungry desperately need. 2 Republicans, their proposal is dead, and we're going to work hard to make sure.
What color you want?
They'll get a lot more than 2.
On the Elon Musk front, when it comes to Social Security payments and what is actually wrong with government and what's exaggerated, we're hearing this line from the White House that tens of millions of people are getting Social Security fraudulently. Either they're dead or...
Yeah, I don't believe that for a second.
We've gotten no evidence of it, but I looked into this, and what we do know is that there's a lot of people that still remain in the database, but as far as people who are actually getting payments, it was 44,000 who got payments according to an audit that was done in 2023.
Out of how many millions?
There's... tens of millions. So when they say tens of millions, that would be
this is what we are dealing with. We're not only dealing with oligarchy, the incredible power of the very, very rich. We're not only dealing toward authoritarianism. We're dealing with what is new to America. You know, politicians have always lied. Nothing new about that. But the level that we're seeing right now, the big lie, over and over again, and it goes out. There's a big lie, and then it goes out on Musk's Twitter to several hundred million people, repeated over and over again. Now the word is out there. Oh,
we're doing orange
on Social Security, 150 years of age. Can you believe it? The whole thing is corrupt. It's broken. Well, where does that lead you, Caitlin? What's the next step? If government can't do anything, if Social Security doesn't work, if Medicare doesn't work, if Medicaid doesn't work, we're going to get rid of all of those programs, and we're going to give it over to the billionaire class to run it.
That's what you think they're ultimately trying to do?
Yeah, at the end of the day, not only do they,
Social Security.
they want massive cuts to programs for the working class in this country in order to give tax breaks to the very rich, and then they want to move to the privatization of every important government agency. Just the other day, and this really upset me, because I used to be chairman of the Veterans Committee, and I feel very strongly.
I don't understand how he lost credibility.
Sure those men and women who put their lives on the line to defend this country get a fair shake. Right away, 1,000 employees at the VA laid off at a time when the VA healthcare system certainly needs more help than they have right now. So at the end of the day, they're going to want to privatize Veterans Administration, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and the Post Office, by the way.
If President Trump were seated next to you, he might say, well, I pledged on the campaign trail that I'm not going to touch Social Security.
Yeah.
What would you say to voters who bring
I think the president has many attributes, but credibility and honesty are not one of them. So I would have my doubts. I'm not saying they're going to go after Social Security tomorrow. They're not. But this is the groundwork. I mean,
no, they're proposing the reconciliation bill tomorrow.
Of programs that are complicated.
They are
programs that have tens of millions of people. You know, this is the welfare queen again. Look at this person. They got this. They got that. Kill the whole program.
Well, the interesting part about that is actually before Trump took office, the Treasury Department clawed back and recovered $31 million in payments from Social Security that shouldn't have gone out that went out. That was something that they were doing over a 5-month period to deceased individuals, but the point is, I think that what the Doge team says they're doing.
Anonymously, good evening.
They were going back and getting the money that was being.
And all that I would ask the American people to understand is that when you have programs dealing with tens of millions of people, is anyone going to say, hey, there is no fraud, everything is running efficiently? Of course not. There are going to be problems. Every bloody program.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that anonymously. People that are receiving their like dead spouses benefits that they are rightfully entitled to. I bet Elon is looking at that and being like, oh, dead people are getting payments. I bet we are going to see that. Holy shit, what a mess this is going to be.
Out there, there are going to be problems. But you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
So what's the solution?
The
if
solution
someone's at
is
home and they are concerned about
the
flaw,
solution
fraud,
is
and bloat.
the solution is that of course we try to get rid of fraud and waste and abuse. And maybe they want to take some of their attention onto the corporate world, the kind of price fixing that goes on there as well. But we want to get rid of fraud and waste, but at the same time, we want to make sure that programs that people desperately need, like Social Security, remain strong. And you know what? You go out and ask the American people whether they want to cut Social Security. They don't want to cut it. They want to expand it. They want to
expand it.
Medicare to cover dental, hearing, and vision. They want to expand Medicaid. In fact, as you well know, we're the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all people. Health care should be a right. Most Americans agree with that.
You're an independent, but you caucus with the Democrats.
Right.
We have heard from a lot of Democrats privately, some publicly, who say they don't essentially know how to respond to Trump on Capitol Hill. Are there things
they clearly don't
doing to respond to them claiming Social Security is?
Yeah, of course we've got to.
fraud?
You know, I think there's an effort to bring forth a war room. There's a ton of lies and misinformation going out there to respond to that. But the truth of the matter is,
Is that enough? I mean, Trump was elected 3 months ago.
yeah. Well, one of the
office for
things,
nearly a
what's
month.
not enough, is that Elon Musk could say the most outrageous thing tomorrow. It goes out to hundreds of millions of people. Democrats do not have that capability, which takes us to a couple of other issues. It takes us to the fact that should a guy who put, what was it, $270 million into Trump's campaign now become the most important person in the government? Is that really how democracy is supposed to work? Which takes
This is
you to
wrong.
a corrupt campaign finance system and the need to overturn citizens.
Whoa, they cut Bernie off mid-sentence. What did he say? What did he say that CNN cut off? That was a CNN clip. They didn't let Caitlyn say goodbye to him. He dropped an F-bomb. Minty, good evening. Welcome in. Really seemed like Caitlyn wanted to argue with Papaw. Yesterday, a judge ruled that he wouldn't immediately block, or she wouldn't immediately block the actions of Doge. Representative Jasmine Crockett took to social media to explain it.
Hey y'all, so it's Rep Crockett and
Hey, Rep Crockett.
part of your rapid response team from the House Dems. I know a lot of you probably have questions about the decision that came down from Judge Tanya Chutkan as it relates to reining old Elon in. I don't know if y'all had a chance to keep up with what was going on, but let me get y'all up to speed. So first, the lawsuit was brought by various Democratic attorney generals throughout this country, and they were suing because they say that the powers that have been exerted by Elon Musk are illegal. Okay, let me just insert this really quickly. I absolutely agree with them. They know what they're talking about. But what happened is the judge said, listen, I've got grave concerns, which I think she's signaling and saying this foolishness that Musk is up to, it must stop. To the extent that the White House and the DOJ are like, oh, Mr. Musk? That Mr. Musk? Oh, yeah. By the way, yeah, he doesn't have any power. Yeah, that's what they're arguing. So I don't know who's lying, but somebody lying. And I hope it's not these lawyers under oath, because one thing that Donald Trump doesn't control is actually these bars that give us our licenses, okay? So in short, the Trump administration basically says that Elon Musk is nothing more than a glorified pool boy. Just a little errand boy who's out there to, I don't know. Really, it just seems like they just like to play at Mar-a-Lago or play wherever they play together. I don't know. They always together because, you know, Elon. Anyway, that's all the issue. The reason that
they were on Fox News together last night.
We're having a hard time meeting the standard as laid out under the law, where they could say that
Doge isn't real.
Imminent and irreparable harm that we were about to face is this idea of we don't really know what they're doing. Because Elon still ain't came in to see us, right? He ain't came in for no oversight, right? And when we went to go see what they were up to, remember, every building we've gone to, they have somehow decided that we were going to be locked out. Now, that don't sound strange. I mean, if
sound strange at all.
You doing everything to help the people, then why won't you let the people that actually oversee all of this, why don't you want to let us in? I personally believe that ultimately, if they continue down this road, that they are going to lose in this particular court. But as of right now, because they just all over the place and nobody knows what Elon is up to or not up to, because they talking out of both sides of their mouths, she was like, I can't give you the temporary restraining order. But hopefully we can get this case resolved quickly. Hopefully they can engage in some form of discovery so that we can discover what you've been up to, boo.
Yeah, it made perfect sense, but she was talking in, like, you know, young person parlance, because that's who that was aimed at. Educating 20, 30-year-olds as to what's going on in their government. You know? Senators reacted to Trump claiming that Ukraine started the war with Russia. We got reactions today from some of the big wigs like Dick Durbin, who put us to sleep last night.
It's outrageous. It's not humorous. The president does these sorts of things, goes off on wild tangents and says things that are clearly false. What is really hurtful about this the most is with the sacrifice of the Ukrainian people that we know has taken place. Thousands have died defending their country, and for the president to argue that they were somehow the aggressor in this action is disgraceful.
I think President Trump, on behalf of the American people, is trying to negotiate a peace between Russia and Ukraine. He talked about it a lot on the campaign trail. He said he wanted to bring peace. The war's gone on long enough, and I think he's going to deliver on that. So how we get there, I trust President Trump. He's a master negotiator, and I think he's going to get to a lasting peace.
Here's where
lasting peace. This is Senator John Kennedy. This was Senator Eric Schmidt of Missouri. I didn't know Eric Schmidt.
President Trump, he's a master negotiator, and I think he's going to get to a lasting peace.
Here's where I disagree with the White House. To the extent
John Kennedy.
the White House said that Ukraine started the war, I disagree. I think
real piece of Schmidt.
I also believe, through bitter experience, that Vladimir Putin is a gangster. He's a gangster with a black heart. I don't. He makes Jeffrey Dahmer look like Mother Teresa. He has Stalin's taste for blood.
I can't tell what the administration is planning. I will tell you.
Why are we going back to Dick Durbin? Oh my God! Reverse thread popped up in the Discord and told me I should take the Dick Durbin speech from last night, stitch it together, make it a sleeping aid, put it up on YouTube. That's probably a good idea. Old Muskie Dick.
Thug and a dictator. He invaded Ukraine. He'll look for another target if he ends up keeping territory from this one.
1 million people have died. And thankfully, we have a president.
Now we're back to Schmidt.
To stand up on the world stage and try to end this thing. That's what I support.
Nice tie.
Between President Zelensky and President Trump, I never get between a dog and a fire hydrant, man. That's the way I live my life. I think they're both good men. I think they both want the same thing. And I think we will get there.
I never get between a dog and a fire hydrant. What'd you guys think about that analogy? Is that an analogy? That's an idiom. folksism, possibly. We might hear some of those from Holiday says 10 out of 10. It could have been Jim Justice's dog, baby dog. I am disappointed that we are, a month and some change into this new Senate, and we have not seen much of Senator Jim Justice from West Virginia and baby dog. I love baby dog.
So we're moving forward tomorrow on the reconciliation bill. We'll have vote-a-rama.
Perhaps if Trump would like to join me in pissing in Dan Crenshaw's eye pussy, I'd support him. I'd go MAGA. I think Lindsey Graham liked that. He was on screen when I did that. I think he liked it. Cross streams.
Confident it will pass, and it will be an option for the president. I am pulling for one big, beautiful bill, but it's got to have the policy right. The tax provisions in the House proposal.
You're going to do vote-a-rama.
Meet the test of what President Trump wants on Texas. I think
like Bananarama, but worse.
But nobody's pulling for the House more than I am, because they can pass a one big, beautiful bill that meets their priorities. It makes things so much easier. If they can't, then we need to move forward on security component. Tom Holman, the border czar and OMB director Vogt, spoke to us last week. They're running out of money. ICE is running out of money.
Say no to BBBs.
Money, they can't continue the immigration.
Yes to BBWs.
Creating detention space and getting the criminal elements out. It would be a disaster for the Republican Party if the immigration agenda failed because we didn't provide money.
Did you have a hard-on before we started watching them?
That exist in the world. So the security component, border security plus national security, I think needs to happen soon based on the threat assessment presented to us last week and the need.
Have you spoken to President Trump? Have you spoken to the president?
He's a dictator. Yeah, I spoke to, well, we need elections. I don't consider Zelensky a dictator, but we do need elections, but that's got to happen after a ceasefire. I'm a practical guy. Putin is truly a dictator. What you have to do here is find a conclusion to the war that will not lead to a third invasion. I'm not out to humiliate Putin, but I am out to end the war on terms that will not entice China to invade Taiwan.
It's a turgid Thursday on Twitch.
Sustainable.
Wait a minute, it's Wednesday, isn't it?
The vice president said at the lunch today, and he's been really good to work with, we don't want to do a deal in a year, 2 years from now, there's another invasion. I think the way you do this is you make economic benefit to people.
I haven't listened to a goddamn thing Lindsey Graham has said. Was anybody listening to that? Should I continue playing it? It had news value, I assume. Maybe. Dougie's like, no. Anyway, he said they're going to start on pushing the bill forward tomorrow for reconciliation. That's the budget bill. This is if they can keep the government open or not. I did. I was thinking about flaccid pee-pees. I think it's kind of hot to watch them be flaccid and be brought to attention. But like all the porn you see, they start off hard as fuck. Packages are getting jammed up at the USPS facility in Indiana.
Thousands of packages are still getting jammed at the U.S. Postal Service hub here in Indianapolis. This is a story we've been.
Hey, if he wants my number, I can get him jammed after the show.
Progress. What is going on? Just last week, Indiana congressional leaders sent a letter to the U.S. Postmaster General wanting answers. Today, they say they still have yet to receive a response back. Also tonight, we're learning about issues and allegations at other facilities all across the country.
Michael, good evening.
Marion County reporter Lauren Kostick joins us live in studio with the next steps that we could see now if so.
Also, I owe you an apology, Michael. You know what? You probably are right. I shouldn't call myself a capitalist just because that creates a difference between me and a worker, and I'm most certainly show solidarity with workers. Zen, good evening. Welcome in, my friend. Hit that follow button. Become a freaking follower. And I do not want you to end up homeless. I am very worried about what is getting ready to go on. Goddamn right you did. You get a titty slap.
A titty slap!
Come on now.
Anyway, we were talking about packages getting jammed.
Some of these issues of delays are not resolved.
Exactly. We've been looking into all these different facilities because at this point we really have heard it all. We've heard about live animals there, life-saving medicine, Christmas cards, passports, collectibles, all somewhere inside this USPS distribution hub in Indy. And it turns out it's not the only U.S. postal facility dealing with this very problem.
Igloo, good evening.
Atlanta faced similar issues with the problems leading to a federal audit last year.
Last August, the Office of the Inspector General for USPS released this audit of Atlanta's postal distribution hub. The report cited issues with staffing and supervision, recommending 7 changes, including facility-specific training and more managerial hires. Similar audits were also done in Richmond, Virginia, and Houston, Texas. All of these facilities part of the Postmaster General's restructuring plan, consolidating
Yeah, but Joy's on his way out now.
hubs known as regional processing and distribution centers. The one on Indy's east side is also part of this rollout. Within the last 2 months, 13 News has received hundreds of complaints of packages being delayed weeks and even months. This video provided to 13 News shows the backlog that workers say
They got Christmas presents in there.
and now every member of Indiana's congressional delegation is demanding an explanation and a solution.
Everyone signed on the letter. Democrats and Republicans, every district across Indiana.
Well, thank God they're on the case.
We want an answer. We want a fix. Timely.
Leaders in Louisville and Jacksonville have
This
also
is Indianapolis, yeah.
about issues happening in their cities. A Postal Service representative said the agency will respond to the Indiana delegation directly, but it's not clear when. In the meantime, packages and complaints continue to pile up.
So it's very possible if we don't see the issues resolved here in Indy, we could.
I wish they wouldn't shoot her where you can see her standing on the fucking block. Why would you do that? Why would you fucking, tilt up, zoom in. Easy peasy.
Could see one of these audits done at our distribution hub, but it's still kind of too early to tell. And it's also important to note that some of these packages are not just everyday orders. For example, I spoke with a man earlier today. He ordered some live baby chicks through the mail, which he says usually no problems, right? He picks them up in Greenfield. Well, this time they were stuck at the distribution hub. And when he finally got them, he said that only 5 of those 22 baby chicks survived. So just all different stories we've been hearing. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Right. Oh, Lauren, thank you. I'm so glad you're staying on top of this.
For
I
sure.
hope there's some pressure that leads to resolution.
Absolutely.
You can also see the mark on the floor. The dildos are like exactly what you order through the mail. They're supposed to come in non-discrete packages. Hey, Adam and Eve, you should totally sponsor the Troll Patrol. This is the type of content that I think you would be perfect on. You know, get 10% off. Use promo code FREAKIN at adamandeve.com. Get yourself use promo code TittySlap at AdamandEve.com.
A titty slap!
Come on now.
Oh, the baby chickens. Oh no, you can order live things through the U.S. Postal Service. That's a thing they do. I did, like, farmers do it all the time. That is a service they offer. It's more than just chickens too. What didn't work? Titty slap?
A titty slap!
Come on now.
Dildos. I've got a video. This is from the Westchester County Board of Legislatures. A Republican congressman. Congressman would mean that it's the federal representative. Questioned the legislature, which would be the state house. Questioned Jose Alvarado's citizenship during a meeting.
Somebody that looks like me, right, is approached by ICE. What would your immediate expectation would be for me to do? What should I carry on me to demonstrate that this immigrant is the vice chairman of this board?
Well, like every other person that is engaged by law enforcement, if you are asked for information, cooperate.
This is Westchester County, New York.
I wouldn't expect you as I don't know, I assume you're a citizen. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're, but well, you're telling me about ICE approaching.
But that's the point that I'm making. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
that's the point that I'm making. You walk around with your birth certificate. You know,
I don't.
I don't, and I am a citizen. Otherwise, I wouldn't be duly elected to serve in this board.
So
He said, I am a citizen, otherwise I wouldn't be duly elected to serve on this board. It's absurd he said that. Right-wingers are morons. Yet another example of it. Trumpers, you tired of winning yet? This is a story of a Navy commander who wants to fight to keep serving, fighting against Trump's military trans ban.
Trump's executive order barring transgender people from serving openly in the military is now being weighed in federal court. The judge in the case appeared to express doubt that the ban could be justified as necessary to improve military readiness. Here's Lisa Desjardins.
Among the executive orders that Trump signed last month was one stating that transgender Americans cannot satisfy the rigorous standards necessary for military service.
Wow.
Must move to change the policy allowing them to serve. One of those who could be affected by that joins us now. Commander Emily Schilling is a decorated Navy.
I would usually say fuck the military, who would care? But like one of the things I didn't realize until it was explained to me by a trans person, like they go and they serve because it's one of the few places that's accepting of them. Like when you're out on the battlefield, they don't see your gender. It's not a big deal. You're just out to, look out for each other and save each other's asses. And I get that. There's a sense of belonging and camaraderie and shit. And there's not a lot of job opportunities for them, unfortunately.
pilot with over 60 combat missions and high-risk work as a test pilot. She's also transgender and the lead plaintiff in one of the legal challenges against the Trump executive order. Commander, thank you for joining us. Secretary Hegseth still has about a week or so to meet the deadline for this new policy and exactly define what it will be. But as we wait for that, have you seen any effect from this executive order, either yourself personally or in the military?
Yeah, Lisa, first, thank you for having us on tonight. These views are my own and do not necessarily reflect those of the U.S. Navy or the Department of Defense. You know, so far, we have thousands of transgender troops currently serving in our armed forces today, and they are deployed across the world, embedded in units today. And these executive orders and the discussion
Look at what a nerd she is.
Has an immediate effect on them. From overzealous commanders who are
Quesadilla noticed it too.
As action, to just a detriment to the morale of these individuals and their ability to focus on the mission that they've signed up to volunteer for.
You are the lead plaintiff in this lawsuit. What are you asking for? What would you like to happen?
You know, I just want to keep serving. I have served for nearly 20 years. I'm a combat aviator, test pilot, and I've served with honor and distinction. And all I'm asking is for myself and the thousands of other transgender troops just like me to be allowed to continue to do what we want to do, which is serve the American public.
President Trump has said that this is about the culture of the military and readiness. Here's what he told Republicans last month.
And next, to ensure that we have the most lethal fighting force in the world, we will get transgender ideology the hell out of our military. It's going to be gone.
Commander, how do you respond to that?
You know, the first thing that you learn as an officer and a leader, the first rule of leadership is to take care of your people. That means take care of all of your people. And when you take care of your people, you have an effective combat-ready force. We don't necessarily get to choose who's going to volunteer to serve our nation. We are a melting pot in America, and our armed forces represent that great diversity of our country.
Now, those who support the ban have said that they point to some physical conditions that the military can use to exclude people from service, like maybe severe asthma. That's something you hear a lot. Do you think that that's at all a legitimate argument here, and what is your response?
Yeah, Lisa, sure, there are other medical conditions and health care that preclude people from service. But 73% of us, 73% of transgender individuals are senior enlisted in the military. That means that they've been in for over 12 years. When somebody injures their knee or injures their back, we send them for health care. And they're down for a little bit of time, and we get them the health care they need, and then we return them to combat. We return them to the force. It's the same case in this instance. People just need health care, and it's our duty to give them that and return them to the fight.
I want to talk about a bigger picture.
She likes Ghostbusters and Star Wars.
As well, which sort of overlaps with some of these executive orders. And conservatives have said, you know, when there's too much focus on identities, that it leads to a less unified military force. How do you see the role of DEI, which now President Trump has said cannot be enforced in military and other agencies? But how do you see that role?
I bet Lisa Desjardins is as well. I bet they geeked out together.
Did the military ever go too far with that, with all the trainings, or was it useful? How do you see that debate?
So first, let's say what DEI stands for. That's diversity, equity, and inclusion. And when you actually say the words, you realize what we're trying to do. We're trying to create an environment where our service members feel like they belong, that they're with their battle buddies, that they're with somebody they can trust and count on when they're in the foxhole. When you create an inclusive environment for others, they bring their whole self. If they have to leave some portion of them at home, you're only getting 80% of the individual. When they're allowed to bring all of themselves, they end up being better service members, and they end up being better leaders. For myself, when I was able to start showing up to work as my full self, across the board, I got better reviews, I excelled as a leader, and actually I ended up promoting to commander with merit reorder.
Yeah, she's a damn commander.
As a transgender woman in the U.S. Navy.
It sounds fancy. I don't know what it means, though.
You operate at a very high level. But what can you tell us about those thousands of other transgender members of the service? I could see conservatives saying, oh, Commander Schilling is an exception.
Yeah, so transgender individuals are no different than any
Don, good evening.
We're going to have those individuals who excel. We have those that are mediocre. We are no different. But across the board, the
Commander sounds high up, but I think it's below a major.
Service members are.
Below a general.
Think about how hard
below
it
a major
is to come
general.
into a service or to
It's
come
below a
out
major
as
general
transgender
major.
in the current environment. Aren't those the type of people that you want to go into combat for you? That amount of courage and that amount of bravery to just be who they are.
I thought a foxhole was doing ketamine and watching Jesse Waters.
So, you are a military leader. You're a combat veteran. What do you think is at stake for the military right now?
Sounds like a horrible time.
I think it's reputation. We have allowed individuals to serve from all different creeds, all different backgrounds. And every single time that we have tried to exclude a group of individuals, whether it was by race, religion, gender, we have always been proven wrong in the end. The same arguments are made time and time again, and we're going to have to learn that those same arguments are false.
I've seen a dude pull a gun with his dick.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Lisa.
She's Navy. She's a commander in the Navy. But they did say she'd flown, right? They said she was a pilot. But, like, I think you can be a pilot and be in the Navy because they got ships. Yeah, she's a Navy commander, but I think they said she was a pilot. Speaking of pilots, I have a license to pilot in your ass. I'm sorry, I shouldn't. I fucked the joke up and everything. I'm supposed to be like, hey, I got my pilot's license.
Life is too short to walk this earth for a crusty asshole. Wash your ass.
I ain't flying. I ain't flying with nobody. I ain't getting a pilot's license. I ain't getting on no plane. Nuh-uh.
Afternoon, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us. For 12 News at 4, I'm Tram Mai.
I'm Rachel Cole. Troy is on assignment this afternoon. Meantime, 2 people killed after a midair collision at the Marana Regional Airport. Amazingly, 2 people involved lived.
12 News journalist William Pitts is
Did she say she's trans and bi?
What happened? William?
Yeah, I want to show you one of the planes that did manage to make it to the ground. If I step out of the way, off in the distance here, you can see there we have one plane that is surrounded by police tape, and we think that is the plane that made it to the ground. The other one, unfortunately, was not that lucky. Marana police say this was a midair collision, but somehow the people in one of those planes managed to walk away from it. Now, check out some of this video that we got from a viewer who was nearby when it happened. He was a good mile or so.
Oh, Tran. Oh, okay.
And saw that big, thick, black plume of smoke over by the airport. He said he never even heard anything, didn't know the 2 planes had collided. The FAA tells us this was a Cessna and a Lance Air, basically 2 small private single-engine planes. There was a mid-air collision at the airport, but we don't know how high the planes were when they hit. One of those planes crashed.
Don't know how high I am now.
Both people on that plane were killed. The other, though, managed to get to the ground safely.
Boo-boo.
Yeah, it's amazing that they were able to walk away from it, and we're glad that they're okay. Yeah, it's an unfortunate event.
Now, the FAA is investigating. Marana police tell us the NTSB is on its way. Until then, the airport here is shut down. While
It looked like a TV.
Now, we do want to point out the FAA confirmed that this is an untowered airport. That means there's no air traffic control. There's nobody talking to these pilots as they're circling around the airport or coming by here. What they use is something called a CTAF. It's a common traffic advisory frequency. All of the pilots are supposed to be on the same frequency when they're in here. They're all supposed to adhere to the same rules, basically going around this airport, turning to the left all the time, and then basically keeping your head on a swivel, being able to see who's around you at all times and know where everybody else is, because there's no one else really helping them out here to kind of pay attention to where anybody is, guys. It's kind of up to just pilot responsibility, guys.
A lot to uncover here. William, thank you so much for that report live from Marana. And right now, we want to bring in Chris Dunn, who's a commercial pilot and also a flight instructor. You have been to this airport, Marana Airport, very small town as well. Tell us what it's like at that airport.
Very common to do a lot of flight training at Marana, especially for some of the big flight schools in the Phoenix area. You can go down there, do some pattern work, do some practice approaches, and then come back. So Will mentioned in his story that it doesn't have a control tower, and that is surprising to a lot of people. There are plenty of airports. In fact, most of the airports in the U.S. do not have a control tower.
And it's up to pilot responsibility. So, I mean,
That sounds horrible.
Managed, or is this just common if you're not going to have air traffic control in place?
So say if you're driving down the street and you encounter a stoplight, that's air traffic control. If you come to a four-way intersection, that's kind of the equivalent of a non-towered field. So it's up to the pilots to figure out how to enter the structure.
They just wing it. Oh my God.
And by the way, most of the mid-air collisions happen in the airport environment in day VFR conditions or good weather conditions, such as like we had today.
Yeah, okay, so again, still so many questions here, but what do you think the investigators will be looking for?
They'll be looking at, and Will mentioned this in his story, the common traffic advisory frequency, making sure that both pilots were on the same frequency. I've been to airports where someone mistakenly put in the wrong frequency, so they're not
just wing it
to what else is going on.
Tier 2, good evening.
That's a key thing. And also, did the pilots know where each other were in the environment of the airport? They'll be looking.
I don't think they did. That's why they hit each other.
Just a tragic coincidence that two airplanes meet in the sky at the same time.
Say, just another aviation tragedy.
A lot of times, you know, we hear about this black box recording.
Just another aviation tragedy.
Aircrafts, these single-engine aircrafts, do they have that?
No.
Just another day in plane crash USA.
And most of the small airplanes like
fuck.
Have that. But they do have ADS-B, which is automatic dependent surveillance broadcast, kind of a radar tracking type of mechanism in the transponder. So
hopefully that will lend, you know, some answers as to what possibly could have happened.
Yeah, it just has a minimal amount of data. It doesn't have all the data points that, like you would have with the black box or the flight data recorder.
Okay, interesting.
Chris, we appreciate your insight again this week. Thank you.
Well.
We're getting to the crime section of the show. We're going to start off with a couple of murders. Then we've got an armed truck robbery. Then we got some crooked cops. So if you're a little queasy over the more graphic stuff, maybe the next couple of stories aren't for you, give it about 10 minutes, maybe 15. Come back and see us. We'll be back to the bullshit. Well, this one might be, this is one of those tabloid kind of stories. It's also, it happened right after the Troll Patrol started really getting going. This is the Gabby Petito documentary series. Has all kinds of new revelations, including body cam of the cops with the Laundrie family.
3 years after his death, the parents of Brian Laundrie, the Florida man who murdered his girlfriend Gabby Petito, are pariahs in their neighborhood. Stephen Fabian has more on the case. It's now the focus of a new Netflix documentary.
It's the dramatic moment cops confront the parents of Brian Laundrie about the disappearance of his girlfriend, Gabby Petito.
When was the last time you saw Brian and Gabriel?
Well, Brian is here.
Brian is here?
Yeah, and that's all I'm going to say.
The video is from the new hit Netflix documentary, American Murder, Gabby Petito. Gabby and Laundrie went on a cross-country trip in a van. They got as far as Wyoming.
Well,
then
shit,
Laundrie
Michael.
returned to Northport, Florida without Gabby. Gabby's parents raised the
Can we
alarm
get high?
after they hadn't heard from her in more than a week. They reached out to police in their hometown in Suffolk County, New York, who asked Florida authorities to investigate. Brian Laundrie's
He's got pretty eyes.
Stonewalling.
Am I able to talk to your son?
He's not going to talk to me.
If you guys know anything, it would let the parents at ease and go from there.
But we don't know anything.
The search for Gabby became a national obsession in 2021. The Laundrie family found their home under siege by neighbors.
Come out! Come out and cooperate with authorities!
They scattered laundry baskets across their yard, symbolizing dirty laundry. The laundries picked them up after dark.
Do you guys feel guilty about Gabby?
Since the documentary began streaming, neighbors are once more shunning them, saying they want them to leave. After the body was found at a remote campsite, laundry also disappeared. For 5 weeks, cops searched this 40-square-mile swamp. Then his parents joined the search and found his body in less than an hour. He had shot himself, perhaps with the same gun he had once given to Gabby to play with.
Fire it twice again. 1, 2.
He left a suicide letter admitting he strangled Gabby. I have killed myself by this creek in the hopes that the animals will tear me apart. That might make some of her family happy.
A lawyer
you are a monster.
Brian Laundrie's parents say the documentary gives a one-sided view of the case. He's asking everyone to let the parents of both Brian and Gabby mourn in peace.
I kind of feel like there's only one side of the fucking case. He murdered her. That's all there is to it, isn't there? I mean, what else? Now, we've got this wild story out of San Bernardino. 5 people have been arrested in an alleged murder for hire plot. Did I fucking swear? God damn it, Elwood. Good evening, Mr. Elwood. Welcome in. So glad to see you. 5 people arrested in a murder for hire plot in San Bernardino. I think we've got video of the incident.
When Jessica Torres was shot and killed outside a hamburger stand in San Bernardino last month, police were at a loss for a motive. Now they think it was a murder for hire involving several people and paid for by someone very close to the victim. Inland Empire Bureau Chief Ron McMillan reports.
It's a case that had the San Bernardino Police Department stumped. The murder of resident Jessica Torres in broad daylight. Who would want her dead?
Jessica was a businesswoman in our community. She was well known and well respected by many.
It happened on January 10th outside Burger Point in San Bernardino. The victim walking out to her car. Watch as the suspect vehicle drives up. The suspect then approaching the victim. That suspect armed with a handgun. There's a fight over her purse, then a fight over the weapon. The victim doing everything she can to get away, then trying to run to the restaurant. That's when the suspect, identified as Gerardo Llamas, opens fire, killing her.
Later on during the investigation, we located this SUV, being the suspect SUV, abandoned on the east side of town. In that vehicle, there was evidence leading us to additional suspects.
So how did they put it together? Well, police believe this suspect is the shooter, this suspect the getaway driver. The investigation revealed that the driver's brother actually worked for this suspect, who leased land at a pallet company from this suspect. And it turns out he is the victim's husband.
These criminals targeted this victim in a murder for hire scheme that was stemming from a contentious divorce from one of the suspects, Sergio Reveles.
Police say the victim and her husband owned properties worth millions of dollars, but they're not releasing any details on how the alleged murder for hire plot started. They did say the husband paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to have his wife killed. All 5 suspects now facing murder charges.
We will proceed in this matter as is currently alleged, with the potential of special circumstances as a result of some of the facts that you've heard here, and obviously the tragedy and travesty of having an individual that was essentially assassinated at one of her favorite eateries in San Bernardino. Is a very, very sad case.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great ABC 7.
Thanks, Mark Brown. I want to say that poor woman, but also, that wasn't Mercedes. It was a tricked out Mercedes now that I look at it. Dude was shit with the gun. He almost, clearly he was dumb and didn't get away with it. Was not professional in any way. Perhaps these guys will be more professional. We're going to Memphis. Where 3 men with assault rifles robbed an ATM. Let's Yeah, they did.
We had a bold armed robbery of an armored truck crew Friday morning. Happened on Mitchell Road in Whitehaven. Look at those guys with those guns. Fox 13's Jeremy Pierre joining us live where this happened. And JP, this was bold, played out right there in broad daylight.
Yeah, broad daylight.
Fucking fuck.
Drove down South 3rd and Mitchell. Cars were moving all over.
You didn't have to say anything, Mr.
It all
Goldwood.
took place right here at the First Horizon ATMs right here as a armored truck and an armored truck guard loaded the ATM. You can see right here in this very nerve-wracking video, you can only imagine how that armored truck guardsman felt. Now, this morning, Memphis police say all three of those masked men with rifles drove off in a white Nissan Altima. According to police, the men took a large amount of cash. You can see them taking those large black boxes. That's what the cash is. Investigators did manage to find the Altima shortly after
Please keep me honest.
We did some digging and learned Friday's robbery is one of two from last week. The Memphis Police Department actually investigated in this area. Now, there are several.
They knew what they were doing.
This lot, we're right next door to the old historic Crystal Palace. For those of you who are not familiar with this area, but let me tell you, this is very scary stuff right here because, again, you see them with those long rifles, broad daylight. Of course, right now we're working to gather information as to where Memphis police
They were in and out. That's how you do it.
However, if you have any information that can possibly help them,
I would start with the bank because they knew the fucking schedule. God damn it. They either did incredibly good reconnaissance or it's an inside job or aided. Oh, yeah, I ain't seen nothing. I don't see nothing. I'm sorry. Or aided by somebody working on the inside. Multiple cops and one of their spouses were charged in Alabama. I said that weird. Alabama. In Alabama. There we go. I think 4 cops from the Huntsville Police Department.
Abolish the police department. That's the recommendation from a Coleman County grand jury following alleged criminal activity within the department.
Abolish the police.
Clark joins us live now from outside the Huntsville Police Department to break down exactly what's going on out there. Georgia?
Well, the Huntsville Police Chief, 4 of their officers and one of the officers' spouses are now facing felony and misdemeanor charges, with the charges ranging from unlawful distribution of a controlled substance, tampering with physical evidence, failure to report ethics crimes, as well as use of an office for personal gain. Now, in the grand jury's finding, they also linked the death of Huntsville dispatcher Chris Willingham to the neglect and mismanagement.
I used to work for Way 31. When I first got there, I kept calling it WAAY, and they hated me for it because of Way 31.
Management of evidence.
I don't know any of these people. It's such a high turnover.
The district attorney could not directly confirm whether Willingham got the fentanyl from the evidence room, but when he was found dead, he had evidence in
Wait, what?
According to court ethics crimes, as well as use of an office for personal gain. Now, in the grand jury's finding, they also linked the death of Huntsville dispatcher Chris Willingham to the neglect and mismanagement of evidence. Willingham died of a fentanyl overdose, but the Coleman County District Attorney could not directly confirm whether Willingham got the fentanyl from the evidence room, but when he was found dead, he had evidence in his office. According to Crocker, the mismanagement of the evidence came from a hole in the wall of the evidence room where multiple unauthorized individuals used a broom to gain access to the inside. All of the cases with mishandled evidence face an uncertain future.
Some of those cases are in the municipal court of Huntsville. Some of those cases, if they're felonies, are cases that we handle in state court. We are going to begin a review process of all those cases. We will look at those on a case-by-case basis.
That's something for you to review.
I'm not optimistic about the ability to prosecute cases with tampered evidence.
In addition to the recommendation to abolish the police department, the grand jury also cited the subpar conditions of the jail, where they say Hanceville police had no ability to manage and keep a healthy, safe environment.
Sounds about right.
The Hanceville Police Department will actually be abolished. The Coleman County Sheriff's Office
grand jury
preparing to take over the policing of the town if necessary. But the bottom line here is the grand jury says the Hanceville Police Department is a threat, ongoing threat to public safety, as well as a riddled with corruption organization. Now, as you can imagine, city leaders say that they are taking these recommendations very seriously, and they do plan to have a city council meeting on this next week. Of course, we're going to keep you updated on that, so be sure to stick with Way for any updates. But now I am reporting live in Hanceville with coverage you can count on. Georgia Clark, Way 31 News.
Way. The production department is probably all the same people. But the anchors, the reporters, they turn over. They've got like 3-year contracts, and they're all gone just as soon as those 3 years run out. If they make it the 3 years. A New Mexico state police officer has been placed on leave because he was running a DWI scam.
Development in the DWI dismissal scandal rocking law enforcement agencies across the metro. A New Mexico State Police sergeant, once dubbed the DWI King for his impressive arrest record, is now on leave in connection to the scandal. He's the first officer from state police to be connected to this federal investigation, following more than a dozen APD officers and one BCSO deputy. News 13's Annalisa Pardo is here with the latest.
Bestiality deputy.
We'll take a look at this 2015 State Transportation Department billboard with Toby LaFave. He was the face of the NDWI campaign in New Mexico, and now
what an ugly mug.
To one of the state's biggest public corruption scandals.
I guess there's a reason why this badge sits right over my heart.
Featured in NDWI ads and billboards, New Mexico State Police Officer Toby LaFave is known for his impressive DWI arrest record. Named Officer of the Year twice by Mothers Against Drunk Driving and State Police Officer of the Year in 2012.
Another strike against MAD.
News 13 caught up with LaFave after his 113th DWI arrest.
It's very disheartening knowing that people continue to drink and drive, seeing all the commercials, seeing all the ads, seeing all the fatals.
Screw you, pal.
But now LaFave is
don't drink and drive, but also, like, screw this guy.
What the feds are calling the DWI enterprise, where then Albuquerque defense attorney Thomas Clear III and paralegal Ricardo Rick Mendez conspired with police officers to miss hearings and get DWI cases dropped. The participating officers would then get money and gifts in return, and the accused drunk drivers would get to keep their licenses and escape conviction. Our News 13 team went through court records and found that
That actually wasn't what I was expecting.
Clear was the defense attorney in 27 of LaFave's arrests, with 11, or 41% of them, getting dismissed.
I believe that DWI is a very serious thing. I don't think it's a funny thing.
Following the news, the Bernalillo County District Attorney added LaFave to the Giglio list, meaning he is not considered a credible witness.
Fuck.
So far, the DA has dropped 230 cases involving officers
I
implicated.
don't even remember doing anything.
A
but
spokesperson says they are now
I won't dispute it.
reviewing LaFave's cases. And in a statement tonight, State Police Chief Troy Weisler says any misconduct in their ranks will not be tolerated. And if it's found Sergeant LaFave's actions violated the law or policy, he will be dealt with swiftly and decisively. As for these billboards, NMDOT says officer participation is at discretion of New Mexico State Police, and that LaFave is not in any current NDWI material. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Annalisa. We are hearing tonight from Pete Casetas, the former state police chief who once applauded LaFave's DWI record. In a statement, Casetas says he's disappointed. He goes on to say, quote, arresting individuals for
Up yours,
DWI
copper.
and not following through with the court process because you are an alleged corrupt police officer is inexcusable. I was his captain and ultimately his chief. We should have caught this. I have full faith in Chief Weisler to do the job of identifying and removing any state police.
Chief Weisler? Chief Weisler?
Police officers involved. Meanwhile, the former defense attorney who pleaded guilty to being the ringleader in the scandal is now banned from practicing law everywhere. Thomas Clear III was previously ordered to show cause as to why he should not face disciplinary action for his suspected conduct in the so-called DWI enterprise. On Tuesday, Clear pleaded guilty and the state Supreme Court suspended him from practicing in New Mexico. And today, a chief United States district judge is
Good. See you, pal.
Practice law anywhere in America. The 3-judge panel has 21 days to decide if Clear faces permanent suspension or disbarment. Today, Clear's attorney says he will not fight the decision. 2 officers connected to the scandal who resigned from APD, then hired by CYFD, are still on paid leave tonight. Harvey Johnson and Nelson Ortiz resigned from the department in 2024, giving up their badges rather than be interviewed by APD's internal affairs. CYFD then hired them. When we questioned CYFD about hiring the 2 men while
Children, Youth, and Families Department?
The 2 workers were placed on paid leave. Now, 2 weeks later, the state confirms tonight they are still on paid leave.
Weird. But hey, if the cop or maybe the attorney end up doing time on those charges, I think I can hook them up with somebody that can get them some meth and some tobacco inside the prison. They are doing it via cannon. They were using a cannon to launch contraband into a prison.
Colorado men have been arrested in Louisiana after officials say they attempted to use a cannon to launch meth and tobacco into a federal prison. Take a look at your screen. These are those 2 suspects. That is 18-year-old Jose Francisco Herrera Munoz and 19-year-old Angel Gonzalez Gutierrez, both from Greeley, Colorado. According to the Grant Parish Sheriff's Office,
Well, that makes sense.
an investigation led deputies to learn that these suspects plan to use a cannon
South Park has made fun of Greeley.
to launch $112,000 worth of tobacco and $89,500 worth of meth.
Jesus.
Deputies said the cannon, which could shoot items 350 feet into the air, would launch the items over the federal prison security fence and onto prison grounds. Munoz and Gutierrez are facing charges of attempting to introduce contraband into a penal institution and attempting to distribute methamphetamine. The sheriff's office also said U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement assisted in the investigation and detained Munoz, who was reportedly in the U.S. illegally.
Have a medical situation. The video showing a baby girl entering the world as the W train entered the Herald Square station captured a moment that's tonight as a little miracle on 34th Street.
Ooh!
A lot of things could have went wrong, and thank God that it did.
Brianna Brown was on that downtown W.
Ooh! All I can say is I hope she washed her ass afterwards.
Life is too short to walk this earth for a crusty asshole. Wash your ass.
Meth cannon. ASAP Rocky found not guilty in gun trial. Seen hugging Rihanna afterwards.
Not guilty. Repeat again, we, the jury, above any type of actions, find the defendant, Rakeem Mayers, not guilty of semi-automatic firearms in violation of Penal Code Section 245, Section B, A felonies, charging count 1 of the information. This 18th day of February 2025, jury seat number 9, 4 person. All right, title of court and costs. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Joaquin Mayers.
Imagine being rich.
Firearm in violation of Penal Code Section 245, subsection B, a felony of charging count 2 of the information. This 18th day of February 2020.
He's hugging his attorney, isn't he?
Number 9, 4 person.
During this trial, I watched you periodically. You did.
I mean, I guess that is the person you hug after you get off. I don't even after you get off. I don't even know what he was facing. He and Rihanna apparently breaking their silence.
As for ASAP Rocky's court battle,
Not guilty.
that ended with screams and a jump over a barrier to hug Rihanna, who was in tears.
Rihanna? He said Rihanna. That's not how you say her name.
ASAP leaped over a barricade at the 2023 Met Gala. The couple celebrated his
Phrasing.
2-hour victory dinner in Beverly Hills.
Congrats, ASAP.
We're told their party totaled 7 people, including his legal team, who shared wine, main courses, and dessert at the members-only social club Gravitas, leaving through a private exit.
How's it feel to get your life back, my man?
You guys need to have another baby. I really want to thank the jury for making the right decision. This whole experience has been crazy for the past 4 years, but I'm thankful.
Next up for ASAP, he'll headline the Rolling Loud Festival next month. He's a co-chair of the Met Gala in May, and this summer he'll be in a prison jumpsuit starring in a Spike Lee movie with Denzel Washington.
Enormously quick and speedy verdict.
ASAP Joe.
Oh, I thought I recognized him. That was Joe Tacopino. That was Trump's attorney.
Quick and speedy verdict.
ASAP Joe.
I liked him.
They had to prove it was a real gun. It was not a strong case. And I think that was evident by the fact the jury only took 3 to 4 hours.
They had to prove it was a real gun. Hold on, we gotta get the deets on this. Rocky was charged with 2 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm filed after a November 2021 incident in which a former friend said the rapper shot at him in Hollywood, grazing his knuckles. Rocky has been free on bail since his 2022 arrest, but faced immediate incarceration if he had been convicted. Rocky pleaded not guilty, rejected a plea deal that would have involved very little jail time, and opted not to testify during the case. He appeared nervous ahead of the verdict and leaped into the arms of Rihanna, his longtime partner, once it was clear the jury acquitted him. Ultimately, it took the jury of 7 women and 5 men roughly 3 hours to decide the case, finding Rocky not guilty of the 2 felonies. They could decide Rocky was not guilty because he fired blanks from a prop gun taken from a music video set, as the defense argued, or that he acted in self-defense, or they could simply decide the prosecution didn't prove its case. There was too much reasonable doubt. ASAP's testimony made up the bulk of the prosecution's case. One surveillance camera recorded the sound of the shots being fired. Another partially captured a scuffle shortly before the shooting. Yet another video showed the incident itself through the frame within view was small, blurry, and far from definitive. Jurors also considered text messages to Rocky and others that Relly sent before and after the incident. Relly has also filed a lawsuit and said in the communications that he had a greater desire to be paid than to see Rocky prosecuted. Rocky's lawyer, Joe Tacopina, called him an angry, pathological liar who committed perjury again and again and again. Oh, ASAP Relly's testimony. ASAP Relly was the dude who was shot. It was his testimony that the prosecution relied on. Rocky faced 24 years in prison. You say it must be nice to finally have a win. He fucks Rihanna. I was able to say fucks because, you know, we got past the clock. I did so good. A woman is suing a fertility clinic after giving birth to another family's baby.
Christina Murray's long journey to motherhood took a path she never thought possible.
I spent my entire life wanting to be a mom. I loved, nurtured, and grew my child, and I would have done literally anything in my power to keep him.
After years of fertility and IVF treatments, she gave birth to a healthy baby boy in December of 2023.
What was your immediate reaction?
Yeah, notice the color of the baby.
I was happy. I was a mom. He was beautiful and perfect, but it was also very clear that something was wrong.
She vividly remembers the shock when she saw her baby for the first time. Whereas Christina is a Caucasian woman who chose a sperm donor with a similar appearance, the baby she delivered was African American.
An at-home DNA test result that January confirmed what Christina suspected. The baby was not hers. On February 5th, Christina's lawyers reached out to the fertility clinic, Coastal Fertility Specialists, informing them of the mix-up.
And just like...
So I'm assuming she had a specific donor and everything, so it wasn't her eggs and shit.
Let them know, what the results were and asked for answers.
In March, Coastal Fertility informs the other couple their embryo was transferred to Christina, that family taking legal action to obtain custody. In a family court hearing that May, Christina decides to give up the baby voluntarily.
It's like the happiest day of their life is like the worst day of mine. So like everyone's happy and joyous, and then there's me losing my entire life all at once.
Now Christina is suing Coastal Fertility Specialists in a complaint filed in a Georgia court.
Errors like this should never occur in a fertility clinic. This is the cardinal sin.
The actions of the fertility clinic have come very close to destroying me, have left irreparable damage to my soul, and ultimately left me questioning whether I should be a mom or not.
In a statement, Coastal Fertility Specialist says in part it deeply regrets the distress caused by an unprecedented error.
It deeply regrets it.
It was an isolated event with no further patients affected. The same day this error was discovered, we immediately conducted an in-depth review and put additional safeguards in place to further protect patients and to ensure that such an incident does not happen again.
Oh, no fucking way.
Also says government regulation is needed.
Christina's situation at Coastal Fertility is just one example of the crazy mishaps that can occur at a fertility center because they are largely unregulated. There are no reporting requirements when errors are made. There are no random and unannounced inspections. There are no statewide or federally required
Good golly, Miss Molly, we got us a live one. Montreal, man, what's going on?
There we go. Hold on.
What's up? I'm not high enough for this. I'm gonna have
Even
to.
that camera, I'm not high enough yet either, but we're gonna remedy that.
Are you smoking one? Here, let me. I can.
That's literally why I'm on the internet talking to people.
Let me. I can put you on camera here. Hold on. I'm only set up for audio.
Okay, hold on.
We can make this happen.
I gave you a hard time last time, but here's how you get your camera on. All right, you just
no idea. I can use split cam if I know beforehand I'm gonna have to give somebody my camera, or like the virtual cam just didn't work last time.
OBS. You just you put the eyeball, you cross it so it shuts off the camera. Then Discord has access to it. Then you put yourself on Discord and you share the Discord screen. Then you got
what do you do for a living?
What do I do for a living? I have I'm a software developer.
I'm a broadcast professional.
Oh. Well, mazel tov.
Oh, my friend, we've had a back and forth. The other night was wild with you and Vet.
Yeah, I feel like we got off on the wrong foot.
Oh, really now?
I enjoy the memes, but hold on. You need me to apologize harder here?
No, I don't need you to apologize. I was trolling you. My show's called The Troll Patrol.
Okay. All right.
You can apologize if you want to glaze me a little bit.
You have it in writing already. What more do you want?
Well, I have you on here. Now I have content. But I want you to notice, like, unlike you and your buddy, like, I'm not, like, putting restrictions on you. I'm not like, oh, you need to agree to my terms. I'm just like, come on and talk with me like a man.
I understand. I understand that. The thing is that I don't know you, and I don't want it to devolve into, like...
You don't know me, but you got opinions on me being dishonest. Ha ha!
You know, yeah, that's right. You know what? It was the impression I got. And you
made an assumption.
Actually, that's not true. No, hold on, that's not true. That's not true. Okay, and I explained it in my apology that you have in writing. Okay, dishonest was not the right word. Okay, to use, just flipped it on the fucking Twitter, but that's not what I meant.
I mean, you can say I cut people off because I do, but usually it's because they're saying bullshit. But you've got problems with the way some people conduct their online presence, and I'm one of them, apparently. Is that correct?
It's not a problem because people are going to do what they're going to do, and they're just fine. I don't particularly like it myself.
But do you call out your...
It's not that it's wrong or anything. It's just I don't personally like it.
Do you call out your buddy critically thinking vet for his bullshit?
Sometimes. I don't go in. I don't go like, oh, you're a dumbass in my best Alex Jones impression.
My friend, he's the one that went ballistic on me. You know that, right? Both times.
So that's the thing. So I just wanted one rule that we're not going to go into name calling. He broke it first. Then you broke it, and then I'm like, well, this is obviously not going to work. I don't want to have this chat.
Well, see, right? I don't want to agree to the no name calling thing, because if somebody says something fucking stupid, I'm going to call them like a dumb fuck. But I'm not like you people. I'm not going to be like, oh, you're disqualified if you call somebody a name. I don't give a shit. I do a show with a troll head.
Right. I mean, that's your business. I wanted to put a boundary, also a little boundary with anybody, by the way. Okay, gives me a notion of whether or not the person will respect the space.
I don't respect anything. I titty slap things.
Clearly, which is why we had to fucking end it. Clearly, it wasn't going to work.
Yeah, we had to end it because your buddy went ballistic.
I mean, I told him to cut it off. He did.
I've got video after video after video of me having conversations with people for quite an extended time. Some of them 30, 40 minutes. Have you got long hair? You got your nice ponytail?
That's correct.
Oh yeah, let your hair down, brother.
No.
No? Oh shit. I'm trying to get you to get comfortable. Be friendly over here.
There you go. There you go. There. Is that what you want? There you go.
Yeah, I think you look sexy. I like people.
That's right.
I like people with long hair.
I shouldn't be smoking. I'm sick.
So you're long-haired hippie type. Is that what you're saying?
More or less.
Then why? Okay, so you're all friends with CTV, but you would probably agree with me more. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I don't know about your constitutional thing. I mean, whatever. I didn't really hear the arguments. Everyone was yelling, but.
Well, you don't really know shit about the Constitution because you're a Canadian, right?
I don't know. I have a very superficial understanding of the Constitution, being Canadian and all that, right? But it seems to me like there are three branches of the government, and they're all there to kind of keep an eye on each other to make sure no one runs wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And the judiciary, from what I understand, okay, is doing its job and putting a check on the executive right now. And the executive, despite the fact that he says he's winning all the time, is complying with everything the judiciary is telling him to do.
Well, no, see, that's the thing is we've got judges saying that he's not complying with their orders. and he like a Republican.
Right. They make a scene about it. Oh, sorry. You know what? I cut you off. Go on.
Oh no, go. Oh, no. What were you saying?
No. They make a scene about it, but where they've ruled, he's had to comply. He doesn't talk about it, but he complies. Am I reading it wrong?
I mean, when we're talking about reinstating funding and stuff like that, some of these things, like, we're not going to know for a while. Like, we're still finding out some of the agencies. Like, some people haven't been able to access Medicaid payments, or they're worried that's going to hit the Social Security Department and shit. Like, we're in a weird situation right now, man. Like, our government is being completely... liberalism as we know it in the United States is gone. So, the neoliberal order that has existed for the last, since about 70, for about 55 years, something like that, it's gone.
It seems to me, and you correct me if you think I'm wrong here, but it seems to me like it was a bloated beast anyways, and in one form of another, some form of explosive deconstruction needed to happen.
We are a giant-ass country with a lot of people and a huge economy, and that requires a bureaucracy to manage, especially when, in the wake of World War II, we were left as the preeminent world superpower and shit. So, of course we have a giant bureaucracy. Is it out of hand? Absolutely. But they're not cutting the shit that I want to cut. I want to cut the contracts to Elon Musk. I want to cut the subsidies to ExxonMobil. I want to cut the military budget, Raytheon and Boeing and shit like that. They're coming in and doing away with, like, Meals on Wheels. I'm against that shit.
I don't know what to tell you.
Tell me about Canadian politics.
I'm okay. Here's what got me back in, because I stopped streaming in 2022, stopped engaging with all this stuff in 2022, and then Trump says, "Yeah, we want to annex Canada." I mean, I know he doesn't actually say that, but more.
That's what he said. Yeah.
Oh, I'm concerned with politics again.
So you don't want to be the 51st state, is what you're saying?
No, I don't. I don't want to be. I don't want to be American. And
well, you are American. You don't want to be a U.S. citizen.
I don't want to be United Statesian.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to say American now? All right. So,
what's your solidarity with my fellow Americano?
Oh, with CTV?
No, with you.
Oh.
My fellow Americano. We're both North Americans.
Americanos. All right. Yeah, I understand. You know what? I'm not opposed to seeing a North American Union one day, but the thing is that look. It seems to me like Trump got voted in because a lot of people are like, okay, the system's so fucking corrupt. Let this guy blow it up, right? Again. So they really wanted it, and I'm like, so you got people basically voting the anti, like, we don't like our fucking country anymore at all vote, okay? And then
you're hold on.
Come be our country. Why don't you come be part of us? Like, people here think we suck. So why don't you want any of that too?
You're trying to rationalize it, I believe. Like, I just think people like CTV are fucking stupid. They don't know how anything works. They're not making a calculated decision to tear it all down because the neoliberal order is failing or whatever. They don't know what they're doing. They're literally convinced by Trump and think he's a messiah.
Right. I feel okay, I'm going to say this. You're going to jump on it. I feel like in a lot of ways, not.
He is the messiah.
No. And actually, I would make a case for saying he's actually the Antichrist.
If I believed in the Bible, I would absolutely think he's the Antichrist.
He's a bit Antichristy, like his patterns and stuff. He's a bit, he reminds me of the Pied Piper. Like, you got to pay my price, or I'll take all your children to war.
But the Pied Piper got rid of all the snakes, though.
He got rid of the snakes.
No, is that not the Pied Piper?
That's the promise. That's the promise, right? He's like, hey, I'm gonna get rid of your problems. I'm gonna get rid of your big problems, but then you you gotta do what I say. You gotta give me the concession, right?
See, you're reasonable. How'd you become friends with CTV?
He's fun. He's fun.
He's fun. He's stupid. I'm sorry. Shouldn't talk about a man when he I shouldn't talk about him when he's not here to defend himself. But brother, he's the one that has shut me out, and he left. First of all, you got to realize, and this is why I corrected you. So I have to argue with me, the phone number and everything. It's on the thing. I'm just inviting people. He hopped in here, did exactly what you did. Bang Discord, hopped in there with me. Was like, you wanna debate? Let's debate. And I'm like, all right, I'm down with this. And then he cried and left because I spanked him up and down. Ow. Okay,
I understand. I wasn't trying to say. You know what? I did say that. They I don't know. What did I say? I said that. You invite him or something like that.
Oh yeah, but that was just a way for me to be able to gotcha too.
No, I know, but it's just like a brain fart. I was trying to get to the other thing, the one where you cut people off and stuff, right? Which I think was which is the actual thing that got on my nerves. But that's it. So I was wrong about that. I apologize.
I like to think that I cut people off when they're spewing bullshit, and especially when there's a point hey, I want to hone in on this because you said this point.
I totally get it.
Let's back this up.
I totally get it. You know what? The thing is that I guess when I was like, yeah, roll up, I was intending eventually to have a vibe like this, right? Okay? Just you and me talking about regular stuff, okay? And chilling out, and then I could be like, say a few jokes, but ultimately, I don't want to think you're an asshole, okay? Let's put it that way.
Oh, I'm an asshole. See, that's a lot of you can say a lot of things about me. You can say I'm an asshole. That's true. To say I'm dishonest, that's not true. That's what I took issue with.
Yeah, it got you, huh? It got you, didn't it? Got you to the core. You're like, oh, you can't say that about me.
Well, I go to great lengths. I want the chat to call me out when I'm wrong. I want to hold myself to a high standard, even though I do a show with a fucking troll head.
No, you know what? The thing is that I've been engaging, I guess, again, I came back very recently to my Montreal player account, right? And I've been engaging with Albertan separatists. If you want to talk about that, that's fun. Okay.
I'm not that familiar, but that sounds interesting.
Yeah, well, okay, I'll give it to you in a nutshell. All right, you're just gonna weave around here.
Yes, please.
All right, so yeah, so I'll give it to you in a nutshell. Essentially, and this is interesting. When Trump goes, okay, we want Canada to be the 51st state, fucking tariffs and stuff like that. Like it's one of his negotiating tactics, right? But whatever, it doesn't matter. But it worked because everyone kind of scrambled, got their shit together. Oh shit, is he serious? And it exposed, I think, the biggest weakness in Canada. Okay, when Danielle Smith, the Prime Minister of Alberta, went to Mar-a-Lago instead of meeting with the other premiers, okay, it signaled to me like, oh, okay, what's going on in Alberta? And they have this kind of, they have a bit of the separatist movement going on. And I'm from Quebec, okay? Mm-hmm. Okay, we have separatist movements, all right? So, but they have and then what it's about, and it's about they share a lot of culture with Americans because they're more the conservative cowboy types, right? And they're mad about these things called equalization payments, okay? And mad about a bunch of other things. But also, I'm like, I can't tell if these it's just I can't tell how many are real people and how many are just like oil shills,
Yeah. Okay? Alberta is one of the central provinces, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
It's like where Montana or some shit is.
Yeah, exactly. North Dakota, I think, and then north of that, it's North Dakota.
Okay, I know it from wrestling.
Okay, are you a wrestling fan?
Oh yeah, Bret Hart, the Hart family, Chris Benoit.
Do you remember the Mountie?
Yes, I remember the Mountie.
Yeah. So he taught me how to wrestle, like professional wrestling. I was in his show, okay, that toured around here in Quebec. Okay.
No way.
I toured with him for 5 years.
What was your gimmick?
Yeah. I was I was Mike Skills. All right. And yeah, it was Mike Skills, and my gimmick was I was basically the $1 Million Man, right? But instead, I was like, they would bill me from head office in Toronto, because a bunch of working class people here in Quebec, okay, have jobs in shops. I've worked in them, right? And there's always the fucking head office in Toronto.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, there's Toronto, right? They talk with disdain. So I was from the head office in Toronto, and I'll go with my bills with my face on it, right? I go to the kids. I'm like, hey kid, hey, you want some money? And then they grab they reach out for the money, and I put it away. And like, get a job. Capitalist. Okay.
So you're a heel. I love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Big heel. I love being a heel. That's the best.
But you can't sell gimmicks if you're a heel, though.
Sorry?
You can't sell gimmicks if you're a heel. I mean, you can't. Nowadays, especially, you can.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Anyways.
Who's your favorite wrestler?
My favorite
I'm making the chat, like, roll their eyes. They're like, it's not Saturday night.
Yeah. Okay, you know what? I have to say I guess the one I liked the most is probably Triple H. Back in the day.
Really?
But I mean, like Triple H from like the 90s, you know, and
like 99, 2000. He was having the best match on the card.
Yeah, he was just such a bastard, you know, and I loved it, and he would win too, you know. He wouldn't do that. He would actually win against people. He'd be like, oh shit, right? So that's it. I really and he was really good at being a fucking bastard. This guy. So I really appreciated that.
I like Ric Flair, so I was big on evolution and shit.
Oh yes! Oh my god! Of course, Ric Flair. I have a Ric Flair T-shirt. Sometimes I used to stream with. Anyways,
brother! I have him sign my book. I've got picture with him.
Oh yeah. Anyways, yeah. Okay. You know what? Yeah, I love Ric Flair too. I was there. People in the Rougeau Wrestling Company, at least just for a few months, they would call me the Ric Flair of their troupe because I was older. Anyways.
You got some nice hair. You do a nice strut.
Yeah, maybe I'm born. Maybe I'm born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline.
Ah, shit. Okay. I don't want to bore the chat too much with wrestling talk. Tell us about this Paul Revere guy.
Paul Revere.
Yeah, isn't that the conservative guy? I'm probably fucking his name up.
Oh yeah, Polyev. Oh yeah, Polyev. Yeah,
Polyev. Okay.
Yeah, Polyev. Oh yeah, Polyev. I'll say it right.
Okay, so I'm from what have you ever heard of Kentucky?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
Yeah, that's right. So Kentucky used to be a big coal place, right?
Yeah. It's probably like the Alberta. The Alberta of the United States.
That's what they keep telling me, Albertan separatists. I'm like, you really want to be the next Kentucky, man? Guy, when oil hits fucking $40 a barrel, all right, you guys are going to be hurting for cash, all right? Like, anyways.
But that's my, accent, my weird fucking things up and everything. But anyway, are you down with the conservatives? Are you one of the people that have gotten excited for the Liberal Party?
No, I don't know who to vote for. Everyone sucks. I
mean, that's pretty much all elections.
I know. You know what? The problem is that, it really comes down to how I feel about them building a pipeline through Quebec. All right? Because my normal vote, everyone sucks, okay? And the Bloc Québécois suck. Do you know what the Bloc Québécois is?
No.
Okay, all right. So the Bloc Québécois...
Sounds cool.
Yeah, the Bloc Québécois is basically, it's a party, and their platform is that they just represent the interests of Quebec. They're a federal party, but they're just like their own party going like, well, we're just going to vote for what we think is good for Quebec.
That's good.
Okay? I really like that. I really like the localist approach to politics.
Okay, and, I could be down with that.
Yeah, I really like the localist approach to politics. And so I feel like, man... That should. Anyways, I wish there was that. Anyways, the closest thing I can find to the localist platform is the Bloc Québécois, right? And because, like, the liberals, it's just like, fuck, dude. Like, it's true.
Well, who did they caucus with? Did they caucus with the left?
That's a complicated question. Sometimes you would say yes, and sometimes you would say no.
Or do they even have any seats in Parliament?
They do have seats in Parliament. And
Okay.
at one point during during the last time Quebec tried to separate, they were the official opposition. They were the official opposition in Canada. The Bloc Québécois, ready to fucking separate the country into two. So
Would that be like the
yeah.
French half and the English half?
No,
Or are there
actually,
different lines I don't know about?
Okay, right. Okay, I have to realize that you probably I guess you're not very familiar with Canadian.
No.
Okay.
U.S. citizens were real self-absorbed. We're up our own asses.
Yeah. Sorry. Anyways, okay. All this to say, I got back in. I'm having fun with Albertan separatists, looking into pipelines. I don't know if I want a pipeline going through Quebec. The Albertans really seem to be mad about this, but I have a feeling it's just the oil companies want us to push it through. Anyways,
if it benefits the oil companies, I'm against it. I don't think because I mean, like, are they going to be running it through like wilderness?
That's the thing. Okay, so back in the day, just before COVID, an oil company, TransCanada, all right, wanted to build a pipeline. Okay, that went across the to the Atlantic, right? And it was called Energy East, or it at least went through Quebec. Anyways, and
was it go to Greenland or some shit?
No. It was just that. Sorry, people are making the argument for that now because they feel like, well, with the U.S. making threats, all right, like this, that they can just turn like this at any time. Okay, we really should have this pipeline that could get our Alberta oil to the Atlantic, right? So it can get shipped over to Europe because they cut off oil from Russia. So they got these like heavy crude plants just like thirsty for oil over there. So anyways, I guess it makes a lot more sense now, but at the time what happened is that it came through land. There was a lot of indigenous land things, and I dig that about Canada. They respected the rights of the people who were like, hey, no, this is our land, you can't build here, right?
Awesome.
So
surprising.
No, but I mean, again, it's like that's what I dig about it. It's like there's I like that they prioritize the local, the will of the local community, right? Over, sorry, this light. Just give me a second. Okay. Well, anyways, and there was another thing. With belugas, right? They would have to pass this thing through a thing where
the whale,
like nest. Yeah, the beluga whale, and it's one of the only places they're an endangered species, right? It's one of the only places they congregate and have babies, right? And they're gonna pass the pipeline right through it. And it's not that Quebec didn't want it, okay? They just said, look, you got to reroute it to go around these things, right? And the costs were now ballooning, right? Because you got to reroute.
Yeah.
And also, oil at the time goes to $40 a barrel, and the oil company's just like, we don't have this kind of cash right now, you know. So to spend, so that's it. So the project just kind of got abandoned, right? But a lot of people in Quebec wanted to do. Anyways, the Albertans now, their big argument is like, fuck Quebec, the fucking entitled babies, right, of the fucking Confederation, and and I'm from Quebec, and I'm like, oh shit, so I wanted to look into that.
It's Quebec is French, right?
I don't know if I'm boring you.
No, I like learning. Can you speak French?
I can speak French. Canadian oil is and not worth selling or buying. Alberta should switch over to agriculture. Well, yeah, Quebec is French. Yeah, I'm actually French Canadian. I'm the specific. There's a unique genetics in the world. It's a mix of like French colonists and Native American people, and all the range in between.
Speak some fucking French at me.
Just uniquely in Quebec and around.
What's Canadian French sound like?
You got to tell me to say something though. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I could. Okay, I'll read I'll try to translate the chat in French here.
Yeah, there you go.
Ok, mon nom de famille est en français. Je peux pas parler français. Ok, les tar sands, I don't know. Les tar sands, ça pollue. Ah, ça pollue vraiment. Ok. Ça sonne comme du français régulier, juste plus raciste.
It sounds like regular French, just more racist. I love it.
Ouais, c'est ça. Ouais, c'est ça. Ouais. Le français québécois, c'est comme le français de France, sauf plus raciste. That's not true. We don't have good racial slurs in French.
How much?
There's no racial slurs that's just like, that cuts me to the fucking bone. All right? You know why? You know why? Because we didn't oppress black people as much as Americans did.
I mean, there's the whole native and the fucking residential schools and all that good shit.
Nobody's perfect everywhere.
I know. We had residential schools too. Like, it's a thing, especially up along the north. But anyway, like, how much of Canadian life is exactly like Trailer Park Boys?
I've never been in a Trailer Park Boys situation. Oh wait, no. My friend fucked this chick once, and I had to go over there, and I saw some Trailer Park Boys situations going on. Okay, so maybe it probably does exist. It's just that's not my life.
Because we think of Canada. We think of Canada. We think of Canada.
These posts.
Canada.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which musical artist would you trade off for somebody from the movie? Like, would you trade Celine Dion? Would you trade Bryan Adams?
Trade? Like, what am I getting in return?
Nickelback. Well, you gotta name your price, and I'm gonna tell you if I agree to it.
Bands? I don't know bands that much. I wouldn't have anything clever to say to you.
Would you trade Nickelback for Papa Roach? U.S. takes Nickelback, Canada takes Papa Roach.
You know what? Yeah, I like Papa Roach actually.
Cut my life into pieces.
I'll take it personally. Yeah, cut my life into pieces. Yeah.
So this is usually what I do on the Freak Show. This is what I do on the bullshit show. I do. This show's usually about politics.
My life is gone. Yeah, that's a good song.
Oh my god. Yeah, sorry for coming at you so raw on Twitter, but once again, the Troll Patrol.
No, I know. I know.
I was trying to goad you.
I'm making a. You know why? You know why I'm not coming to talk to you? Because I'm just busy. This weekend, I was like tweet to you on the toilet, right? Like,
wait a minute, what were you doing this weekend that had you on the toilet?
Oh well, I mean, I'm human and I have to take a shit once in a while, right?
Oh, I thought you mean like, yeah, I spent the entire weekend on the toilet. I had some bad pizza or something.
No.
You have pizza in Canada?
No, I spent most of the weekend fucking my wife, right?
Oh.
Because it was Valentine's Day, and we went up, we got a room somewhere, okay, and we just had a nice romantic weekend for a couple who's been together for 25 years.
Oh, that sounds amazing! Hey, congratulations, yay!
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what that's like. I've just fucked different people.
No. You know what? Thank you. No, thank you for having a positive reaction. You know what? It is quite an achievement, actually.
People don't normally have a positive reaction.
The way people are. For what? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I'll take a catalog of it.
Flo says you take too long. Sex shouldn't take all day. He could have been having multiple sexes.
Yeah, I was having all the sexes, exactly. Sexing it up.
Oh, goddamn. I hope you took her out for a nice dinner.
No, actually, we made a really nice dinner.
Ooh, okay.
Because we have access to a kitchen. All this. It's basically a cottage.
That's even better. You don't have to put clothes on.
No, exactly. We didn't put clothes on. Exactly. The hot tub. Yeah.
I got all kinds of cats up here on me.
Okay.
They wanted to say hey.
Well, cuddly. Do you take them in the hot tub?
One cat gets in the shower with me.
Okay. There you go. You got a little buddy.
He's a wet ass pussy. He is a little buddy. He's fat too. He's really fat. Oh. All right, Montreal player. That's been a lot of fun, my friend. I'm glad you stopped by.
You had enough? Yeah.
We've buried the hatchet. I was gonna try to wrap up early this evening, but I always enjoy a good conversation.
You know what? That was a good chat. My joint's done. Thank you for speaking with me.
No, thank you for coming over here. Like your friend's fucking stupid though. Tell him like I think I mean, if he could take me telling him he's stupid, we could have a friendship.
You're not gonna. No, we're gonna. You figure that out with him.
Well, no, I'm just saying he's fucking. If he can handle being called out on his stupidity, we can be friends. I've been friends with right wingers, and I just they don't. Right wingers are thin skinned.
All right, well, you know what? Okay, you know what? I mean, whatever. I don't know if you can because it's just it's going to be such a fucking ego thing. With you two.
You think I have an ego?
Oh, yes, you do. Shut up. Yeah. So that's it. I just don't know. I don't know who can. Anyways, that's it. I just don't know. I don't know how I know how I would handle that. I get along with him. Okay. Honestly, I'll tell you what I do. All right.
See, you should be the moderator in an actual debate.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Now that we've done this, let's set that up. You be a moderator, and we'll choose actual. You can let him choose a topic. I'll choose a topic, and then you can choose a topic. You can throw in.
What's his argument though? Because you were saying it's basically he's just reciting Elon Musk's fucking memes that he puts out.
I mean, he is. That's what he's doing.
Okay, what's the strategy here? Because he explained it to me, but it was just so frantic, I wasn't really listening. Right? So, yeah.
The strategy for what? Elon Musk is just a billionaire that's trying to take over the government.
You know what? Let's save that one for another time. It was a good time to stop before.
Absolutely. Okay. Have a good night, my friend.
Yeah.
Yay! I got some badass videos. I hope you got we jumped to that chat, which I thoroughly enjoyed, but badass videos ready to go for you. I can't believe some of the shit that's getting ready to happen on this show, so I hope you guys buckle up. This happened earlier today in California. A car flew off an overpass. Distressing content. New York Post with words up over the video. God damn! It looked like more than one car, but was there something on top of the car? It had a tree on top of it. Like a Christmas tree. What in the fuck? I'm not seeing a story of it. Motorist had a lucky escape after a vehicle plummeted off an overpass in Sacramento. Sacramento Police Department said the crash occurred around 12:52 p.m. Dashcam footage sent to Storyful shows the dramatic moment the vehicle veers off the overpass. The driver of the vehicle that fell off the overpass was taken to a nearby hospital. I don't know if they're alive, if they're okay. Tree DDT'd. I fucked it up. I'm sorry. I fucked your joke up. I'll see myself out on that one. a bus driver was hit with a metal pipe as he was driving. A distraction tactic. In the pocket of Big Plane. But the bus driver keeps driving after he's struck.
This was such a close call, especially considering the bus was going 60 miles an hour here on the highway in downtown Bellevue. I spoke with the driver today. He told me he knew he had to keep that bus under control and protect his passengers. It was an afternoon trip to a basketball game on I-405 in Bellevue when a seemingly normal bus ride took a scary turn. That is Stuart O'Leary in the driver's seat, injured but keeping the bus under control as the team's coaches run up to help.
Medial winch. Oh my God. I shouldn't be laughing. I was laughing about that. That was horrible.
On I-405 in Bellevue when a seemingly normal bus ride took a scary turn. That is Stuart O'Leary.
Him going, oh, got me.
Keeping the bus under control as the team's coaches run up to help.
But damn, mad props to this dude.
I'm glad it was me, not them, any of my passengers.
Less than a week later, Stuart is back on the job.
I knew I was going to be okay, you know, because it's certainly gone a different way.
That was one hell of a titty slap.
A titty slap!
Come on now. Under control and protect his passengers. It was an afternoon trip to a basketball game on I-405 in Bellevue when a seemingly normal bus ride took a scary turn. That is Stuart O'Leary in the driver's seat, injured but keeping the bus under control.
Right in the titties.
Team's coaches run up to help.
I'm glad it was me, not them, any of my passengers.
Less than a week later, Stuart is back on the job.
I knew I was going to be okay, you know, because it's certainly gone a different way. You know, fractions of a second, things change.
He snapped this picture as he was going into the ambulance.
So they were pulling glass out of my face and had some gauze on there trying to mop me up a little bit.
He walked away with glass cuts to his face, a serious bruise to the chest, and one wild story.
Mop him up.
He's an absolute hero for keeping those kids safe.
His colleagues have put up signs to show how proud they are of him.
He never wavered. He kept his hands on the steering wheel, and his first priority were the kids.
He sure
The
fucking
windshield
did.
is now on display in the bus office.
Wow.
That piece of metal, Stuart gets to keep it.
Did it come from an overpass in the area? I don't have any idea.
While they haven't figured out where the piece of metal came from, one thing about this terrifying situation is crystal clear.
Kept the girls safe. That's what the job of a bus driver is, you know, transporting students safely. And I did that. I'm pretty happy about that. None of them got hurt.
Good job, brother.
That piece of metal looks like it may have come from the suspension of a truck or a trailer. I spoke with the State Patrol today. They said because of where this happened and lack of witnesses, they don't really have a solid idea if it was thrown from an overpass, if it fell off a truck, or if a car went by and kicked it up. They say without some new evidence, they may never be able to tell. The important thing, though, is everyone, including Stuart, is okay. Reporting live in Bellevue, Jeremy Harris, Como News.
Thank you, Jeremy. No homo over at Como. That was horrible. What the hell? Why would I say that? First responders. Just move on to the next story. Act like I didn't say it. I'm getting tired. Overlook me. I deserve a titty slap.
Come on, man.
Oh, you thought I was going to hit you with a titty slap, didn't you? First responders save a woman from a burning truck in Arizona.
In Arizona, 2 first responders saved a woman from this burning truck yesterday. So this happened
Goddamn.
in Chandler, just southeast of Phoenix. A cement mixer hit the truck, causing it to burst into flames. A police officer who happened to be on his way to work ran over to the truck, broke open the window. An off-duty firefighter also on the road joined in, helped him get that woman out before the truck was fully engulfed. The officer said his only thought was that the woman was not going to die that day.
Don't matter. They do.
That's how I look at it. It's just, you know, I signed up for this. I was a Marine before I became a cop. You know, I've been doing it since I was 18 years old.
Really, media winch?
You know, contracts.
Damn, you're lucky you didn't fly higher.
If necessary. That's what we do.
Despite the crash and the fire, the woman was okay. She got to speak to her husband after being rescued.
I bet that radiator was also expensive to repair. If you even could repair it. Radiator damage, that might sometimes be like totaling a car. Alright, I got a special treat for everyone. I got a police chase. Are you ready for the wildest police chase we are ever going to watch on this channel? I hope you all enjoy this one. We are chasing